Hey, Constitutional. What up on your Sunday? Sunday fun day. Hex will be here in a moment. And then we'll have another gal named Emily will probably be popping on. And then I actually have someone who's coming over who's going to be on with me in person. So I'll have to adjust here at some point, but we'll make it work. Gotta get my lips looking good. And I'll always have a shiny forehead. Don't make fun of me for that, please. Cheers to the afternoon. Hi, Alice. It's going to get a little wild in here today. I'm thinking. I have an in-person guest coming. She's not here yet, but once she gets here, we're going to be drinking. Hey, Process. Hello. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Hope everyone's Sunday is good. Like I said, we have some guests that will be popping in here shortly. Especially Hex. Hex is getting ready right now. What are you up to, Alice? You guys working on the room still, or did you stop? Are you done now? Ah, here's our boy. What up, Hex?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Loud and clear, mama.
Oh, good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I was explaining. I made it go live. Hi, Boosted. It might get wild in here after a minute.
Oh boy.
I was like, well, we'll see what happens. Oh, do you
Hold on,
have
real
a
quick.
call?
I have a phone call. Give me 1 second.
Okay. And that, Alice, when you start doing those projects, isn't it amazing how, like, you're like, oh, we're just going to do this and this. And then, like, months later, still fucking working on it. But is she living in it yet? Is she able to live in the room or be in the room? He's important and on a phone call right now, so I need to adjust this light. Sorry, everybody. It's a little better. A little better. Nice, Carpenter. I can't believe you're mowing the yard. We can't mow out here yet. Everything's dead. Oh, she's not in there yet. The room, Alice, the room looked kind of like, is it like an attic or like an upstairs? Is it upstairs room? It reminded me of, I had an attic room for a little while and it was like, I had the kind of like angled walls. Oh, her bed's in the classroom. How funny. Making it work. Just making it work. Love it. I love that. I love attic bedrooms. Those are the best. They're more fun. Constitutional. Yeah, well you're in Georgia, Carpenter, or Florida? I forget.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right.
You got business taken care of there? Y'all good?
So what?
You
Yeah,
got
we're
your
all
business taken care of.
Yep. That's just my sister.
Which one? The one you live with?
Yep.
Okay. She bringing you din din?
No. All right, real quick though, can you hear this by chance?
Like you playing the guitar?
Yeah, is it coming through now?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Oh, really?
It's not like loud, but I can hear it. Why? You can strum along. You can strum on it. Is that what you're worried about? If it's too loud or something?
No, I'm experimenting with a new streaming setup, which, hold on, speaking of which, I don't think is actually in use.
What, a new mic or something? Hey, JVP.
No, it's just some shit with the software.
Oh.
I
don't know shit about fuck. Or wait, no, what is that girl? Did you watch Ozarks? What does she say? She goes, I don't know fuck about shit or something. But like, that's how I am with software. If you have a virtual, do you see his comment? Do you see JVP's comment?
Not yet. Give me 1 second. I'm kind of all over the place right now.
Alice, yes, you do. You need to keep drinking, honey. I actually wasn't going to drink because last Tuesday I got sick again. I keep getting sick from drinking. So I was drinking Tuesday night and I got sick on Wednesday. And I was like, I'm not drinking until May 7th because that's my birthday party.
I cannot hear that. Okay.
But I'm drinking today because I have a special guest coming and we're going to be drinking. And that's just how it's going to go. So, oh, you're out. You disappeared, Hex. Ooh, that was kind of fancy. You like faded in and out.
That was an accident. I'm trying to figure out what in the world is going on here.
You can play away, try figuring stuff out. And Boosted asked if you made a file. Did you make some files?
Oh, no, I haven't done that yet. I know what he's talking about.
Okay. Boosted, no. His answer is no. I'm so cold. It got so chilly today, and like we're trying not to turn the heat on.
It's like 80 here.
I mean, it was nice here. We had a really nice week. I was laying out all week, and then it just got chilly again today. So
no, but it's supposed to get cold again, and I'm just like, why? It's about to be May.
I know that, but see, now I'm glad the rest of the country's dealing with that because that's how Colorado always has been. It's been like April and May. It'll be nice or it'll be fucking shitty, and that's it. Like, it'll be nice. You'll have nice 70-degree days. And then, like, the next day you'll have a blizzard, but it melts real quick, obviously. Alice. Oh, Alice. I get that, Alice. I've been saying I'm going to chill it on the alcohol for a while, too. It's fun when you're doing a room, and it's fun bonding for your... Oh, shoot. I got some packages out front. Excuse me. What? And you're just drinking Bud Lights. That's like, that ain't nothing. Bud Lights ain't nothing. Oh, you faded back in. Your hair is so tall. It's so tall.
I know. I gotta get it cut down a little bit.
You should just go taller. Like, just go. Keep going up. Because you can make it. It kind of stays like that, right? Like,
yeah.
You can just gotta shape it over. I guess you'd have to still shape it, so it kind of.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have black hair, so I don't know. I don't know the drill. I love it though. I love how tall it is. That would go good with the the bounty hunter. Hey Hayden. What up, Hayden? Yeah, we started a little later today. It's gonna go off the rails in here in like 20 minutes probably, but and then I figure because she's spending the night, my special guest, who no one knows who the special guest is yet, but she's spending the night. Actually, people probably know, but I figure we'll probably go on tactical tonight too, would be my guess, because I feel like we're just going to be hanging out drinking at my house. So whatever. I've had 2 shots of tequila already. Can you hear me still, Hex? Or are you just working on your thing?
I can.
Okay. I'm just making sure. No, play with it. It's all good. Hayden, how are you? Oh, and Alice looked beautiful. I don't know if you saw Alice's beautiful picture she posted.
The one yesterday, I think it was.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
Oh, yeah, I did see it.
Her hair was so straight and beautiful and smooth. Looking good. Love it. Love when you can just feel pretty. I am going ham. Sorry, Boosted, but we're going ham today. I'm going to have to... hopefully, and we have Emily's coming on too. Actually, Emily.
I was going to ask if she was still coming on.
Yeah, she was getting, because she's an hour behind me, but she said she's getting lunch, but the new time was a little bit better for her anyway, so she's going to hop on if we're still going. So that is what I said. Alice, I get it. I get that, Alice. It's nice to like shine it up once in a while, and you're like, oh, okay, actually, I do kind of kill it, actually. And when you're home, all the time, you're home with the kids, you're doing the work in the house, like, it's just hard to feel pretty and stuff. Alice, I I know, Alice. I know you live in the house you grew up in. Are your parents or your husband's parents still around? Like, do they watch the kids at all so you guys can go out on date nights? Oh, Hayden was at jiu-jitsu. Nice. Nice. Hex, you're still blank, by the way.
I know. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Okay.
I thought I had it working, but I guess not. So
you're just doing the black square for George Floyd right now. That's what you're doing.
I'm, just a couple years late, but better late than never, right?
George Floyd, baby. All right, Boosted. Maybe in a little bit here. We'll see how things go. Because I'm excited. We're gonna have someone very loud in my house. I told Mr. Forrest mommy, I'm like, okay, she's loud like because I have a sister that's so loud. I'm like, she's loud like my sister, but she's funny and cool. Husband's mom. Damn it, Alice. You should have Hex come. Hex, you should go babysit for Alice.
I'm sorry, what?
You should go babysit for Alice so they can go on date night. Just kidding. Hey, cousin Vinny. R.I.P. George Greg Floyd. Yeah. God. Oh, did everybody see or listen to Mike Tyson on Rogan this past week? It was so good.
I have not.
Oh, it's really good. Like, Mike Tyson's adorable. Alice says she likes you, so she wouldn't do that to you. A-dubs, George has almost 2 years sober. George Floyd. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right, Boosted. You're still on vacay. Are you on a boat right now, Boosted? Are you doing some boats and hoes shit? Probably. It's crazy. I watched that last night, Step Brothers. You ever seen Step Brothers, Hex?
No, I have not.
Oh my God, it's so dumb, but it's so funny. It's
I don't know, for some reason a lot of comedy movies.
You don't like them?
I don't know. It's not that I don't like them.
They're not funny to you.
Interest.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. It's like I like those kind of movies. I like because I like slapstick, silly shit. So I'm like, You have to go into it. Obviously, this isn't going to be like a great story, a great plot line or whatever, but it's funny. Who the fuck? What's his name? Who's the guy from Saturday Night Live? That's no Step Brothers. People help me out. He's in a lot of movies. What's his fucking name? This is Becca's best friend. It's so cute because they're adult stepbrothers, and they're like, oh, it's just so silly. Yep, cousin Vinny. Yep, yeah, John C. Reilly, Will Ferrell. That's it. It's Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, and they're so funny in it. They're hilarious, actually. What kind of movies do you like, Hex? Or is it too distracting to talk to you right now because you're figuring stuff out?
No, you can speak. I don't know. I've always been like an action sci-fi kind of guy, but also like, I guess some thrillers and stuff like that.
Okay. What would you say one of your favorite movies is?
That's a good question.
Great. You permission to speak. I know. It's great. Sorry, I'm picking my nose right now.
That is a good question.
Could think about cousin Vinny. Yeah, Riley is funny.
I don't have a top favorite, but one of them was Hateful Eight, Quentin Tarantino.
You like that one?
Yeah,
that was like one of my least favorite Tarantino
ones.
But it was. I liked the setting of it, and I liked the characters, but something about it. I like a lot of his other stuff, but something about that one, I don't know. But I get it. That one is good. It's good. Yeah, that's not comedy, obviously. No, I said was any of his top movies. Hey, Joe Morgan. What up? I like We're talking about John C. Reilly in Boogie. Have you ever seen Boogie Nights? Hex?
No.
Oh my God.
Like so behind when it comes to movies, to be
Yeah,
honest
that's
with you.
it. No, movies. That's the thing about movies is like you either have to have like someone who lives with you who watches a lot of, like you have to be introduced to a lot of them and stuff. But
Right.
there's this movie called Boogie Nights, and it's I was just talking about a different movie last night about the same director yesterday. It's really good. It's about like porn in the like 70s into 80s, and it's got Burt Reynolds in it, and it's like it's got the best soundtrack. It was the first time I ever heard of Chico Hamilton and Chico Hamilton quartets in it, like on the soundtrack. And I don't know if you like jazz. I mean, you're black, so
bit.
you like jazz, right? Just kidding, everybody.
No, she's not. Do that.
Well, some of it's better than others, and some of it's more technical than others, right? Like,
yeah,
it's
I actually
harder.
played. When I was in high school, I played in the jazz band.
Nice guitar.
Yep.
Nice. Yeah. So there's if anyone's listening to this right now, write down the song. It's a Chico Hamilton quintet, and it's called The Sage. It is the most beautiful song. Like, it's so beautiful. But that whole soundtrack's really good, and it's kind of like it's like a sad, funny movie, and there's a little bit of like it's drama. I guess it's a drama, but it's so good. Anyways, sorry, you can tell I already had 2 shots. I don't like this light.
You're good.
Hold on, Joe. Hayden says, Hateful Eight is controversial. You love it or you hate it. Yeah. I didn't like hate it. It just wasn't my favorite. What you looking for?
Whatever I need.
Do you want me to tell you?
No.
Okay. Your sites. He's talking about Joe Morgan's talking stuff. You're still blank. I don't know if you know that, but
yeah,
it's fine. It's fine. I can just be the only pretty one. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Even if I am there, you've got me beating that department.
Oh, whatever. You're so beautiful. I mean, the only reason I'm friends with you is because you're cute. So, just saying. Just kidding. Yeah, Carpenter was the first one here. Joe. Usually Joe's the first one here. Carpenter's. All the tactical people love coming over here. Oh yeah, I'm doing this on Twitter too. I'm getting a new phone case. Look at this crap. It's all like busted.
Oh,
It's at the front door. Hopefully. I ordered it through Amazon because I hate the climate. I hate the environment. I don't care. Screw it. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we're up. We're up and at 'em on Twitter too. I like that you can stream to Twitter. That's nice. How's that? Was your work okay this week?
Yep. Same old, to be honest.
Same old. JVP, he's doing I should start putting these comments up. He's doing research on Hex as I'm interviewing him about music tomorrow. Are you going on his tomorrow or something?
Yeah, he and I have talked about it in private. He's going to have me on his channel tomorrow. He's going to interrogate me.
Everyone follow JVP and Hex, obviously, but well, I feel like the musicians should have like y'all should have like a weekly show where you talk music, talk about what you're working on, right? Like jam out.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be JVP because there's so many musicians. Like, so I'd love to. I'll watch that shit. I'll be in the comment section on that. Joe. Oh, what Carpenter? What was the Backwoods premiere? Is that another gun thing? Is that a gun thing?
Oh, speaking of live streams, you missed it, but I had it out with this guy on YouTube who goes by the amazing.
That Lucas guy?
Yep. Yeah, that was fun.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch what he said
No,
about you.
He locked it behind a paywall.
Oh, because I saw you link
I didn't
it,
watch
and I'm
it
like,
either. I didn't watch it either, but apparently he tried. So I guess for some context, my one thread, my absolute nuke of a thread, got quote tweeted by Maj Toure, and then he left a comment. Interesting thread. What are your thoughts? And Lucas comment, sounds like the bellowing of a coon, blah, blah, blah. He's a Sambo, whatever. Basically, the shit that I literally said in the thread, he proved my point. So,
exactly.
and then I responded. I quote tweeted that around when I first saw it. I didn't get a response. Then my boy Lucifer, he defended me and he got 7 days in Twitmo for that.
Yes,
for
he
some stupid reason.
did.
Then he came back, and then we kind of brought up how he got thrown in Twitmo for that. My friend Joe, the Ben Lock, she did at the time didn't know what had happened, so I told her, and then I guess she went and found his comment, responded, and then it just kind of blew up again from there. And then he and I went back and forth, just talking shit about each other. And then after that, he just he got on stream, kind of showed my face, talked shit about me, then showed what was said, and then he tried to play the victim like he didn't do anything wrong. And it's like, motherfucker, you came at me calling me a coon and a Sambo and all that.
A Sambo! I had to fucking look that up. I mean, I knew that was like a derogatory term, but I was talking to my mom about, because I was talking to my mom about, like, I'm like, yeah, I talk about it to this stuff because she doesn't have a life, so she loves it. And so then we were like looking up the whole story about Sambo, where it comes from, and all that. And it was like, but I saw other people when Maj initially had retweeted you. A lot of people, because he had said some bullshit. And a lot of people were like, "Oh, that guy used to be okay, but what the fuck's the problem?"
That's I got introduced to him from my friend Havoc. He sent me some videos of his from a couple years ago, and back then he was pretty okay, like 2 years ago. But then I don't know, nobody knows what the fuck happened, and he just started going off the deep end.
Is it? Well, then I guess if he's like making a video about you, it's just for grift and clout and whatnot.
Yeah, and his channel is also dying, and it's not hard to imagine why.
That's so dumb. Like, I could never imagine coming on a live. Like, I'll talk shit about people posting stuff, but I would never make a whole live stream or a whole video about somebody else. You know what I mean? Like,
right. To be honest, I wasn't even offended. It's kind of endearing.
And he's a black guy too. That Lucas guy.
But he kind of like he buys into the bullshit that I criticized in my thread. So
yeah, like being all about, because he can't think for himself, so he has the collective bullshit. What is that like? I know obviously it's happened to you a million times. I'm sure I've asked you before, but what is it like when a black person calls you a coon or whatever, Uncle Tom or whatever?
I don't.
Do you just like fuck off?
It's not. It wasn't until like recently, especially when I started really getting into politics, that I started seeing it happen. But I don't know. It just rolls off my skin because it's like,
you know where it comes
from. You can call me that. It's like, you can call me that all you want, but you're still in the same shitty position you're in, and thinking like that isn't going to help you out at all. So
you're such a free thinker.
It's like, keep thinking like that. I'm not going to worry about racism all the time. I grew up around that shit. How do you have the energy for that? Is my question. I'm going to just do my thing.
And you're doing it so well. You're doing it so well.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
And another funny thing is, when me and Lucas, we were going at it. So he's a guy, he's always complaining about white people or whatever. But every time a white person went at him, he would just hide behind a block. He would just block him.
Okay.
And the funny thing is, there's one of my friends, he said he didn't even say anything. He just liked one of my comments. And I guess he looked back and liked it. And like, this is the type of motherfucker we're dealing with. I'm not getting mad over this sorry son of a bitch.
No, it's more funny because it's like when people like that show that side of them, then you're like, oh, okay, like what the fuck? Like, you're just a shitty person. That's just a shitty.
And I'm sounding like a broken record at this point, but I've said it a million times. These people ended up proving my point in the thread. You go against the grain, they jump on you like wild hounds. And that's exactly what he did. So it's like, congratulations, retard. You just proved my point. And you're continuing to make yourself look dumb. So,
Nailed it. They really did. Hey, Bill. Oh, yeah. JVP. Never trust. Oh, yeah. Because it's like the amazing Lucas, right? Lame. What were his old videos about? Like, what would he talk about?
I don't know. It's just some
Gaming
political stuff, but he
or
wasn't.
guns.
This, political stuff, but he wasn't racist. Or maybe he always was, but it just finally came out. I have no fucking idea at this point.
And people are fucking broken as fuck right now. Like, extra broken, I feel like. I don't know.
And I hope all of what I said made sense, because it didn't make sense to me. I'm just kind of shooting from the hip.
Right now?
Yeah, just going back over what had happened. It probably didn't sound as cohesive, but
It's all like people like that. It's just, and almost like no matter how much you call them out, it's just they're like still just retarded. Like no matter what. Silly. Sorry, Kari. All right, I'm gonna go get another shot of tequila because I'm terrible. Be right back. Hold down the fort, Hex, and hopefully Emily will hop in here too.
All right. Y'all are stuck with me for however long Forest Mommy is going to be gone. So what's going on, y'all?
I was just asking to help you out.
Play a riff. Okay. Here, let me switch guitars because the shit that I try to set up is not working, and I don't know why, so I have to deal with that later.
Yeah, play a riff.
This bulky thing.
Oh, someone else is from Cleveland.
Hey, what up, fellow Clevelander?
Welcome. Did you yesterday I talked to a guy who grew up in Scientology. That was pretty cool.
I haven't seen that yet.
It's interesting. He's an interesting dude. But it's more fun to, and then like I've just been really fixated on this dark magic stuff lately. So we were kind of talking about that too. Because it's like, well, because Scientology kind of came out of a time when there was all this dark magic, Aleister Crowley, Jack Parsons, like all these people, and then all of a sudden Scientology popped up, and so it's just like fun to talk about,
Right.
The whole thing is if you focus on something when you come, you can like it's magic. So I'm like, I told them, I'm like, yeah, well, I think of nice things. I want to do nice magic and light magic.
Right.
Well, I guess there's a couple YouTubers there. Hayden said. Hayden, I'm inviting. He told me about a show next week. I might go to a show with Hayden next week.
Do it.
Just to get the fuck out of the house. Like MJ invited me out last night too. I'm like, I just need to get out. But I've been getting better. I went dancing. I'm getting better. We're getting there. It's weird after the last 2 years, especially because I'm not like super extroverted or super like crazy social, but I like to choose when I can be social and stuff. And
right.
The last 2 years, just like, man,
it really threw a monkey wrench in that system, didn't it?
Yeah. And like, I'm like, go out to drink or stay home. Denizen, dark magic. Denizen, look up. It's like sex magic. God, I don't have the book in here anymore, do I? Aleister Crowley stuff, Thelema. But there's a story about this guy named Jack Parsons who, during World War I, the government had him. Yeah, Hayden. Well, she's trying to hang out with girls, and you're not a girl, so sorry. She finally came to me. Jack Parsons was like given, but the U.S. government had Jack Parsons and was like, "You're gonna invent rockets. We need you to invent rockets for war, so we can blow shit up." and he did, and then all of a sudden this sex cult came in, and like they would do this where he would like he would be, this coming, and then like focusing on rockets and how to invent rockets, and like it was just this whole crazy ass time. And at the very end of like when that was kind of like fading out, L. Ron Hubbard, who started Scientology, kind of like came into the picture, was friends with all these people, and like was part of this whole like sex magic thing. So it's just a really interesting story. And then there's someone else, I'm Not a Commie on Twitter. Me and him are going to do a space hopefully at some point too, because he knows a lot about during World War I and some of the wars. They would have actual magicians like on the war fields doing, whether it's real magic, whether it's energy, I don't fucking know. But like this shit happened, and look at Scientology now, and it came out of that. Like, it's just, I like thinking about that kind of stuff. But that guy, so he grew up in Scientology, and then like he bought a house in Philly. He's in Philly, and randomly he buys this house, and there's a Scientology book in it when he bought it and moved it. And I was like, that's creepy.
That's fucking crazy.
And he was like, this is the book I remember as a kid. And like, that's so creepy. I love it. I just like talking about, like, even when I talk about, like, I like talking about religion and theology and stuff too. I like to be able to talk about it without it there being absolutes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Where a lot of people are like, no, this is how, and I'm like, no, can we just talk about it and like kind of like lightly talk about it where it's not like, I don't know. Oh yeah, Hayden, have you guys gone live with that thing? I was talking to Ryan the other day. You guys sound like you're all set to go. They're creating this shell. These tech boys, man, they create apps and fucking Bitcoin type shit. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but they're creating something. And I love it. Everyone's creative. Oh, Denizen. Thanks for being chill, Denizen, and not your aggressive self.
It's funny you brought up what you said about not wanting to talk about religion and absolutes. That's kind of how I feel about when it comes to like racial stuff. I would prefer not to talk about racial issues because at the end of the day, I don't really care. But I'm not about to, and that, and everyone who watches this stream and sees me on Twitter should know this by now. I'm not gonna pull an Amazing Lucas like, oh, the white man is the devil, and I'm not doing all that. Let's have an open and honest discussion about it. If you're actually interested in trying to figure out what's going on and how to solve it, you have to be honest about what's really going on. And a lot of people don't want to be honest.
And they want to have this apps, like even when you talk to like some conspiracy people, sometimes they're like, no, it's just this. And I'm like, no, well, I want to talk further. I don't want there to be just like this. It's just this, and that's why I love talking to you. I mean, you even fucking grew up in what you grew up in, and you're still like, no, this is who I am and how I feel, and like, that's the best. What's the quote? Like, they're the people who, you have to be able to like not be able to completely answer a question and be okay with it. Like there doesn't have to be.
It's okay to not know something.
Yeah, like it's very powerful to just be like, I don't know, like I don't.
And I'll be honest, if I don't know something, I will just say, hey, look, I don't have an answer for you.
It's so powerful. Even in my work, like, because especially with real estate, there's a million fucking questions that come up, and it's very specific. So half the time, I'm like, I don't know, and I'll figure it out. But like, there are a lot of people who will like bullshit, and then people get mad because they're like, "Oh, my broker lied to me," and it's like, no, like, don't just say you don't know. Like, I would much rather be around someone who says they don't know. It's just
Right.
more peaceful too, you know? She should be like here any second because I just saw a tweet.
In a minute, I'll be surrounded by white women.
You are good. Yeah, I know. Emily. Love it.
And then you're all, and all of you are blonde too, which is even more hilarious.
We are all blonde. That's true. And me and Emily, I feel like me and Emily can look a lot alike. I'm like, I need to do my hair like her one day. And like, I want to fly her out here because my business partner is a photographer, a professional photographer. And like, we do like nice, like sexy, nice shoots. And I'm like, oh, it'd be so fun to have her come out because we look like twins sometimes.
That would be cool. I bet.
Alice, some people think everyone's in on that though. You don't have to know. Maybe that's why we all get along too, because we're like, and there's something almost like annoying of being around people like that. We're like, they're like, no, it's because of this specifically, blah, blah, blah. And even in my head, I may think, oh, this is pretty much why I think that's happening. But I'm not going to like be like, no, this is exactly why. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I reminds me of this argument I got into with some idiot a while ago. We were talking about how marijuana became illegal in the States. And for those that don't know the story, there was this dude, he owned like a paper mill or something, and he also held a position in the federal government. Henry Ashlinger, I think that's how you say his last name. He held in the paper mill, and then he saw people were switching to hemp for paper because it was better in basically every way. So he came up with this bullshit story about how marijuana makes white women want to sleep with black jazz musicians or whatever. And of course that was bullshit, but you know, the times being what they were back in the like early 1900s, they were like, yeah, we can't have that, and that's how it became illegal. And then this idiot came in and tried to say it was conspiracy theory because apparently the rest of the world didn't adopt, you know, hemp.
There's like a whole bunch of. Sorry, go ahead. Like there were a few different confounding reasons, but what you said is definitely one of them about the black and all the minorities. I think they did it to control the Mexicans too.
Yeah, they said it about them too. And then this idiot came in and said because, you know, the rest of the world hasn't adopted hemp because there have been some new developments where, you know, people are wanting to actually build buildings with it because apparently it's good for that. And, you know, he said because the rest of the world hasn't adopted it, I'm bullshitting. And it's like, that's the dumbest shit ever.
Yeah.
And then he had asked, no, how come the rest of the world hasn't adopted it? And it's like, I just said right there, I don't know why the rest of the world didn't jump on board, but that doesn't mean I'm lying about what I said. And then I also linked him an article proving my point, and he was still on his bullshit. So I was like, mute, go away.
And like that's what's frustrating when people can't even like let another idea just say like, maybe I don't agree with that, but let me let that idea simmer, you know, like let me. And people, I feel obviously not all liberty people, but I feel like a lot of liberty minded people kind of have that attitude where you're like, okay, let me let that idea simmer. I may not agree with it or whatever, you know, but yeah, there's all these people who get so like, the more someone claims to know, they know this or that, I'm like, you're full of shit.
Yeah.
Me too, Alice. I was like, where them black jazz musicians at? Instead of where the white
right
women
on
at.
Your screen.
Where the black jazz musicians at? It's funny because my ex was he played jazz music, so I got introduced to a lot of jazz music back in the day. Oh yes, yeah, he does. Denizen. Put it up.
I did. Well, more accurately,
you could, and you could.
Yeah, I mean, but I could. I got some weed in a few hours. Okay.
They were all doing the heroin back then, weren't they?
Oh,
yeah.
What
everyone was doing. That story about Ray. Is that story about Ray Charles? Like when you watch, have you seen that movie, the Ray Charles movie with?
No, I haven't.
I mean, I don't know if you know the story, but apparently he saw his younger brother drowned, and then he like psychosomatically became blind because of it. Like I guess this can happen.
I've
where
never heard that.
yeah, trauma can happen, and then which I'm like, that makes sense.
Just block out one of your senses or something.
Yeah, like something happens in your brain and you're like crazy. And anyways, and he was doing the heroin for a while, but I think he got off long before he passed away. But oh, hey, Posto. I don't know if I said hey, Stoner. Hey. I love. Oh yeah, we were already talking about jazz earlier. What was the first jazz song you ever heard?
First, I don't know actually.
Did
I
your
don't have an
did
answer
your
for you.
dad listen to it growing up?
Kinda.
No.
He was more like R&B,
Okay.
soul type stuff.
The good old kind, the old R. That's
Yeah.
like one of my favorite genres is old R&B, like Otis Redding, all that stuff. Like, I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that
and listen
shit.
to all those guys.
Okay. The very first, like, I mean, I may have heard other ones, but the very first like jazz song I listened to is so cliche, and it's the Take 5, the Dave Brubeck one. That was the first one I ever was like, oh, this is jazz, because that one's actually nice to listen to. Hayden, that's not jazz.
I guess one of the first jazz songs that I heard is called Hurricane Season by a trombone shorty. And we actually, I played that when I was in that jazz band in high school. We played that here in Cleveland at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Nice. That's cool. Dennis said, no, it's okay to not like, I don't like all jazz. Like some of the stuff, the cool thing about some jazz when you listen to it is it's almost like hip hop, where the way people speak with hip hop is the way
Yeah.
people do jazz, you know?
Right.
Like I like when it's like that and it makes sense, but sometimes they get a little too off the rails with me, which that's fine. Like that's for someone, it's fine if it's a little too off the rails, but I get it. But I like some of them. Like I said, everybody go look up Chico Hamilton Quintet, The Sage. It is the most beautiful song ever. Look, everyone loves jazz. Kenny G. Brubeck. Yeah, Time Out. It's just like a nice song. Do you know what I'm talking? Have you heard that song?
No.
We should listen to it. But it's in a weird time signature. That's what's weird about it. It goes back and forth.
Yeah, that sounds like jazz.
Yeah, it is, but it's like I don't know. It goes back and forth. It's really good.
I listened to it and I can probably figure out what it is.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 5. It goes from like 5/6 time, which is, or no, I don't know. It's
5/8.
weird. Yeah, it's like a weird one. I know that. See, that's like I hate myself because I know so much about music, but I never make it. I'm an idiot. But I'm built, I do my Twitter stuff. So that's my practice. So retarded.
There you go. You're good at it too, so
hey, and like I said, I have made one sale off of Twitter, so that's good. And thank God we closed that sale when we did, because I think he locked in at his rate at 4.9, and now it's almost like 6. So God, thank God we did it when he did.
right.
What time? Sorry, God, signature. I'm already like feeling good. Let's take.
Yeah, booze is kicking in.
Yeah, a little tequila. Oh, it's in 5/4 time.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? It's actually good. If you listen to it, you'll like it. It's like what is it? It's trumpet and piano, I think mostly. JVP said, no, I just have it's 5, take 5. Yeah, everyone loves Take 5. We should listen. Should we just listen to it? I'll share the screen. Let me look it up.
Will you get copyright?
Oh,
struck?
that's true. Even if I play it from YouTube, maybe.
Yeah, because especially these giant labels, they're just real assholes about it.
Yeah, fuck them. They already took away my hours, so There's 15 people watching, Hex.
What's up, all 15 of you? Tell your friends to come watch.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's gonna get cray. And there's people watching on Twitter too.
How many?
Let's see. I don't know if it tells on Twitter.
Why do I have 2 Twitter tabs open?
Because you love Twitter. I'm so glad I met you on Twitter.
Me too.
And then what? Because I mean, basically, we met through COVID and all that bullshit. So
Right.
it's kind of the silver lining of it all, right?
Yep.
2 people watching on Twitter.
How many followers do you have on Twitter again?
21.4, baby.
All right, we gotta pump. You gotta pump that viewer number up.
If once I end the streams on Twitter, it'll always show there's like 500 views. So I don't know if it's like whatever. Hayden, thanks, Hayden. Oh, hey, Waffle. Waffle's looking at guns. Tequila, my hey, Freak Mac. Alice, it's Sunday. It's the Sabbath. You don't have to work. That the Pew Pew Jew. If everybody who's on Twitter follows the Pew Pew Jew, because he's Orthodox Jew, so he's like, he doesn't do anything like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because that's the Sabbath or whatever. So we got gun talk going on. What's Waffle want?
That's funny. He said he was looking at a Mossberg 590A1 retrograde. I was looking for one of those too, but I don't know what the fuck happened, but I can't find them in stock now.
All of a sudden, shit got crazy again, it feels like, with guns and ammo.
Yeah, he did. The fucker Biden decided he was going to announce some gun control measures that aren't going to do anything. So naturally, people just buy everything up.
You know what's so weird? This is what I don't understand about the white liberal gun control people. In their hearts, they know they're scared of the inner city crime, right? Like, I feel like that. But they can't say it. They won't say it. They won't say, I'm scared of the thug crime that's going on in cities where the gun laws are the fucking strictest, you know? It's so weird, like, how they won't just say that. And they'll, like, want to go after people who, like, aren't fucking like that. And that's a whole nother issue on itself, why it's like that and how we can fix that, right? Like,
right.
These fucking... is it weird if is it the same? Okay, is when a black person calls another black person Sambo, is that like me being like, these fucking white liberal bitches? Is that the same? It's not as bad, I don't think.
It's not really the same thing.
Yeah, it's not a like racial slur. That was another good one that was on he was on Rogan. It's a British dude. What's his name? Douglas Murray was on there.
Recently, I haven't seen that one.
It's either. Good. Like, I mean, I understand why people hate the guy, but I also love, I mean, who doesn't want to listen to that accent, right? First of all. So, you know, but he's very, like, honest and serious. And he's like, how are we, his whole problem with the whole America and the racial hate white people thing and the CRT and all that. He's like, why are you trying to get people to hate the majority of people? Like, that's so fucked up. It's so, like, weird. But I do hate these white liberal bitches. I don't hate them, but...
And then I love them because then they try to act like, when it comes to, specifically when it comes to gun laws, they act like Republicans will suddenly favor gun control if they see black people start buying guns. And it's like, and they're probably, there are some who absolutely would.
There's racists out there. There are fucking racists out there.
But it's like, not the vast majority of them. That's on you.
Especially because that's why gun control started, was to control the minorities.
Yep. And then I also love seeing that on Twitter, because then I'll just reply with a photo of myself holding one of my guns.
Hell yeah. I'm going to pull one of those up and share the screen here. I love that picture. The one in the purple. Well, I like the one in the duster, but the purple shirt one was really cute too.
Oh, someone responded to that earlier and said I was ugly.
Who said that? You should call him a racist. You should have been like, you racist piece of shit.
I should have, but I just say, you wish. And I never got a response.
Look, I'm looking at you right here. From the bottom of my heart, you are not ugly at all, Hex. I hope you know that.
I know.
Yeah, you're like fucking so good looking, and you're tall, and you love guns, and you love liberty, and you're like normal. Okay. Too many women. Exactly. They're doing the Devouring mother. Sour Patch Lids is a little bit of devouring mother too. I'll be honest. I like her, but she's a little devouring mother. But yeah, people
What
are
does
they
that mean
like
exactly? Devouring mother. I'm
so
not familiar with the term.
if you look up, I think they're Carl Jung came up with them or however the fuck you say his name, but Peterson talks about him a lot. But you have the Blessed Mother and the Devouring Mother, and the Devouring Mother is the mother that like controls you, withdraws her love from you if you don't do what she wants, like an abusive mother, just like wants to like not let you be who you be, whereas a blessed mother is like and anyone can look this, we could look it up and read up the exact ones, but the blessed mother is kind of like what Forest Mommy is, where it's just like, I love you, I will tell you honestly how I feel, like maybe this is how we could change, it's a very more productive, whereas the devouring mother is like the bad mom, the like the shitty abusive mom, basically toxic.
It sounds like
Yes.
my mom.
Well, I mean, like it's common. It's very. I grew up. My mother was the very devouring mother. Like it's very common. And it's just these archetype too. Like it's not necessarily like you can just kind of like put people in these boxes, I guess, or whatever, which I don't like to do typically. But yeah, I don't know. What were we talking about right before I went on that? The Sour Patch Lid, the white women, yeah, just but even if they have kids, like I remember this girl on my Instagram one time I posted something about like gun control, and it was like, well, Biden's protected by all these guns, blah blah blah, so why shouldn't we
Right.
have guns, and she was like, yeah, well, and this bitch, okay, she's not a bitch, but this bitch, I'll call her this bitch, she is a white, very rich, liberal woman, has a huge, fucking gigantic home. She does have like combined family now, because of course she had to get divorced, because that's what they do, and like, do all that. And she was like, yeah, well, they're trained and they're this and that. And I was like,
You
okay.
have no idea, lady.
Okay, first of all, talk to anybody in law enforcement or like anybody in that, and they're like, no, these are not, yeah, they're more trained than maybe some people, but they're not trained. Second
I
of
think on
all,
that. Go ahead.
a
Finish.
lot of the crime that happens is ex-government people. A lot of the like crazy gun crime, and like it's just, she was just so wrong about saying. And then I'm like, why would you even? And then I'm like, who's gonna protect your big ass house, you bitch? Like,
Right.
Sorry, go on. Move on.
No, but I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I've brought this up before, but people think that you're a cop, you got a badge, you're adequately trained with firearms. That is not the case.
It's not.
My dad is former law enforcement, and he'll back me up. Now, my dad is actually really good with firearms, but he went and did that on his own. Like, and if you do get your training, that's on your own dime, on your own time. But like,
Exactly.
as far as like, going through police academy or whatever, you're not getting the amount of training that you probably should have. And it's actually the same for most of the military too, unless you're in like the special forces, like Rangers or SEALs or whatever. Same thing.
Hey, Dino. Yeah, no, I mean, there's some girls I know who are in the army and they're still like in it to get their 20 years, and I'm like, you should not have a gun, probably,
Right.
but they have tons of them, and like, that's how it is. But I know that, like I said earlier, it's just so weird how they won't admit they're scared of the inner city violence, but they won't admit that because they're scared of sounding racist, because they're the fucking calling everybody else racist,
Right.
and it's not racist necessarily to say that there's this inner city crime problem, because it's a
Shit, I'm
cultural
scared of the
thing.
inner city violence too.
Right.
I live in the inner city.
Yeah, like
That's why I carry a gun.
It's a cultural problem and a government law problem, and like
Socioeconomic, that's a big one too.
yeah, like that's one thing I do, like, if you're born into that, what do you know? And you don't, and that's all you know. That's all you know. Like, we all don't know what we don't know, right? Like, and if you're just born into that, and you're born into where you don't have a father, and that's anyway, because it can happen in poor white areas too. It's not just a fucking black thing, but like if you don't have a father or whatever, you're gonna run around with the boys, and
Right.
if they're doing bad shit, you're gonna do bad shit with them too, because that's just human behavior.
Yep. The streets become your father or your parent in general.
Yeah, like
Especially,
you,
you got a mom who's working like 2 jobs and never home. What the hell else are you gonna do?
Exactly.
And then the schools probably suck too. So
we'll get it figured out one of these days. One of these days. Oh, Thomas Sowell. Where's my guest at? Let me check my text here really quick. She's not lost. Be right back.
I guess y'all are stuck with me again. She got on the toll road.
Boats and hoes.
DM me or Forest Mommy Waffle? Oh, I see it. It's you. Oh, well, I'll be damned. 1.2 grand. No, I ain't got that kind of money right now.
Did it say you dropped one off?
I thought it said so. Let me check again. I'm here, Hex. Sorry, I'm trying to figure my shit out here because I'm
Take your time.
crunkety crunk.
At that point, you're just better off getting a semi-auto like a Beretta 1301, which I also do want.
Oh no, they're not there. They didn't get delivered. It's all good. I got all excited because it said like, I thought it said the things were delivered, but they weren't.
No, damn.
It was saying they're coming a little later. That's all. All right, let me get caught up. These cops, those form hands-on training. Oh yeah, the white people not admitting that. And what's wrong with saying that? What's wrong with saying, hey, when you're born into like a shitty socioeconomic issue, shit's bad? Like, what is why? I don't get it. But we all know, like, and I mean, a lot of people do this, but the whole projection thing where they've just been calling everybody else racist because they're fucking racist. Like,
they got on a Black Lives Matter shirt and they probably don't know a single black dude.
For real. Even my my one black friend. No, just kidding. But this girl, that girl who I was friends with, who worked for the government, and I couldn't be friends with her anymore.
I remember her.
Yeah, because she's black, and she's married. She was on her second white man that she married, and like, it's just weird. That shit's all weird. I don't know. It's so easy to just be friends with people. I don't know.
Yeah, just don't be shitty.
And don't be this like white bitch, like, hey, look at all my like they don't even have black friends. It's so funny. Oh, Hayden lives near Spyderco. There's a Spyderco in Denver? Nice. Okay. There we go. I didn't know there was one in Denver though. That's pretty cool. Hayden, do they make like one-offs where they're like a little bit broken and you can get them for cheaper? I do like Spyderco knives.
Other stuff they look goofy to me, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I'm fine with any knife, really, if you can fucking stab a bitch with it. But
Yeah. I do also just prefer fixed blades in general.
oh, Hayden, that's close. That's close to me. I live right by him. Then. Oh, that's probably good, Denizen. That's exactly what it is. They're like, oh, I was born into privilege, so blah blah blah. I didn't know that they're
Oh
out
yeah,
here.
I hate that shit too. It's like where you're born well off, so you're the problem. No, that's dumb.
It's so dumb.
I don't envy people who have it better than me.
No, that's what needs to be taught rather than going to kids and saying, "Hey, you're black, so you won't do as well in life." But that's what these teachers are teaching. They're literally saying, "Hey, you're black or whatever minority, you're not going to do as well in life," which is like, okay, you're the one fucking teaching.
Racist in itself.
Yeah. It's like I made a video a while ago about that. Like, I'm like, you're literally telling them they can't do things. So you're the one putting that in their head,
And the worst part is I can tell you from experience, it's mostly other black people who do that. I heard, especially from my dad growing up, like
the white man will hold you down.
Yeah.
Was your dad Nation of Islam?
Yeah. He grew up, his mother was Catholic, I think. So he grew up Catholic. Then he got with my mom, and then he started, going to mosque or whatever, and then he got more into it than she did. But yeah, he did convert. He converted
from Catholic to Nation of Islam, or
yeah.
Okay. I mean, I understand like the religious aspect of things and people wanting to do that. It's just weird how everyone tries to put the racial shit in on it.
No, it's like the Nation of Islam is just like one small sect, I guess.
Of Muslim?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like its own thing. This is not really a thing in other parts of the world. So, well, it's more prominent here than anywhere else. Vast
because
majority.
We have the freedom to create our own religions and stuff here.
Right. Well, now we're on the subject. I just remember I was on the bus going home one day. Then dude got on. He tapped me and showed me his phone, and he showed me this message he wrote on his notepad app or whatever. He said, "Look, I need a couple bucks," and I didn't want to just ask because I'm black and I'm scared someone's gonna freak out or something. And it's like, holy shit, dude.
That's what his note said. I'm black. I don't want to just ask anybody.
Yeah, I'm dead serious, and it's like,
who would get freaked out? I mean, everybody asks.
The problem, someone probably would, but these parents, telling their kids that, people are going to be scared of you just because of your skin color or something. It's like, do you not see how detrimental that is?
Yeah. Like when you put that shit in the kids' heads, that's the problem. That's how it keeps going and gets worse. Yeah. Damn. Did you go to actual mosque and stuff growing up?
I was basically dragged there against my will for the most part.
We all were in our respective churches.
Kid, vast majority of kids don't care anyway. Like, regardless of religion, I would have much rather been at my grandmother's house on a Sunday, eating Krispy Kreme donuts and watching cartoons. Like, what kid wouldn't,
Yeah, and as an adult, like, because I won't hate Nation of Islam. I don't hate any religions. I don't hate anything because I was raised in it. Not Nation of Islam, obviously, but like white people religions. But I look at it as, I look back and think, okay, because then maybe I am a little bit ADD, like all the rest of the fucking people our age, right? Or my age and your age probably too, but I'm a lot older than you. But I appreciate that I had to go to church and sit through this thing where this guy was talking at me. And I was like, you're not making sense. I don't really know what you're talking about. But it taught me like coping mechanisms of how to sit still and things like that. Like, I feel like there are good things that come from it if you just look at it, even if you don't believe it, you know.
Yeah. And to be honest, I kind of feel like I gave the Nation of Islam a bad rep, even though it kind of deserves it. Because, a lot of people, so, you can be pro-black, but that doesn't mean you're anti-white. Or, you could also be pro-white, but that doesn't mean you're anti-black. But, there's the historical context behind that one that gets kind of weird. And a lot of people in the Nation of Islam, they're not racist. They're not gonna treat you bad because you're white or whatever. But there are a lot who are, so it's just whatever. And they do also. I'm all over the place.
I love it.
God. And there are a lot of valuable lessons that I have learned while growing up in the nation, particularly when it comes to health, because the whole like intermittent fasting thing where you eat like once a day or whatever.
And your pure blood.
Yeah, that was actually taught. I actually first heard that in the Nation of Islam. That's where I first learned that.
Oh shit, my guest is here. Hold on, let me go get her in here real quick. And then we'll keep. Right. I had something else to say about this, and I was gonna mess it up, but I love this discussion. I'll be right back.
Got more white women in the house. They really were, Hayden. As a matter of fact, Ramadan is actually going on right now. Why try to extend our lives if we're going to a better place after death? That's a good question. I don't have an answer for, to be honest with you. Oh, yeah, that's another thing, Alice. Women that have to be almost completely covered up. Here they come.
This is Brock. This is Sarah.
Hello. Nice meeting you.
Noah. Hi, Puppy. He's kind of like your daddy. Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna pet him a lot. I miss him so much. God, you can put your stuff up here. They just got married.
We did.
Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I have to put my eyelashes on.
So well, that's true. Okay, hold on. We'll be right back. Hi.
You can go on. I'll give you like 5 minutes.
Okay.
And then I just gotta take a
get
couple
comfortable.
shots. Okay.
This is your room.
Okay.
There's a bathroom right here.
I was going to ask where the bathroom is because I have to go pee.
there.
I think Bella, do we have our shot glasses?
They're in my duffel bag.
Okay. We bought you a shot glass with your face on it because we have so many. Like, I know she really comes to the wedding, but so we'll give you a wedding present now. I know, yeah. If it was trying not to drink. He went a little far at the wedding. Yeah, so he's chilling. He's not gonna go
Tuesday
crazy.
night,
I'm here. It's fine. Now this is my last go off for a while. Then I gotta get healthy so I can have babies.
But oh yeah, what I was saying. I have plenty of this.
Do you have no idea that we're gonna give you some because we can't. Like once we're done, we're done. Like we can't bring it home with us.
Watch
So.
the party. You guys can stay as long as you want.
Cool. We honestly might.
Yeah. Make yourself comfortable, and then yeah, when you're ready, you need a shower. Shower. What do we need? My special guest is here, but she's not ready to come on. Oh shit! I didn't put my earphones on. Hold on. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, I can.
Actually, I should. Are they being too loud? Let me shut my door really quick.
Nah.
I'm gonna shut the door while you guys are doing whatever you do. You do it up. Make yourself a home. Need water and stuff.
Maybe a water bottle.
Yeah.
Monty Python music plays. And you turn the amp on.
I know.
I'm not even married. Okay. Sorry, listeners. Boosted. Oh, Boosted wants to. Can you jump on Boosted? Hold on. I had the door shut, but it's open now.
Hayden said no. Who wasn't? Oh, that is boosted. Never mind. I'm dumb.
I was gonna say about the whole. I lost it. We were talking so good about the religion and the race stuff, but I forget now. It was such a good combo. Sorry, everybody. I look crazy right now. I'm gonna have to turn. Actually, while we're doing this, I'll turn my camera around.
No DMs or anything from Miss Emily?
No, oh, that's not right. I haven't heard from her yet. She hasn't popped in. Oh wait! Oh my God! Speak of the devil. Speak of the devil.
Oh well, I'll be damned.
Right there. Good timing, Emily, because I have to like readjust my whole thing because my in-person guest is coming too. How are you, honey?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, good. Did you have a good lunch?
I did, yeah.
Was your birthday all good?
It was really nice. It was really low key, which I like. And
you're only like 21.
Exactly.
Are you really only like 21?
Sure. Let's go with that.
Sure.
I
Oh,
don't even actually know, but I figure you're younger than me. I know that much. Sure.
I'm older than most people usually think, but
we can say it. I'm about to be 8, so
I feel like we discuss this every time I come on, but I just turned 37.
Yeah, we are the same age.
Oh, I'll be damned. Holy shit.
That's white women, all right? Like, we aren't all Asian bad, okay?
And I've never done any sort of injectables in my face or anything. So I think I look pretty good for my age, actually.
You do look good.
I would agree.
You look good for just anything. Like, sorry, I have everyone will know in a second, but I have a guest here who's in person as well. So I'm adjusting here. And so I'm going to sit here like this. I don't know how to make it a better screen. Oh, maybe like this. Hold on. Oh, yeah, that'll work better. Okay. How's LA? Didn't they like reinstate some shit in LA?
Someone just said that, but not that I'm aware of. And I feel like
I'm not doing it anyways.
But I've actually been happy because it's been seeming like people are just going back to normal. Like we've all just moved on for the most part. So like, I'm I'm happy with that. Like if that could just continue.
That's what people need to do. Like every time, like I know in Philadelphia, they tried doing something and it's like, this, everyone needs to just not. They just need to like not do it and then it'll be fine, you know?
I just don't understand how people can still be like falling for it or like caring about it. It's like, hasn't there been enough just like plain to see evidence that this is absurd? Even if you're not fully like on that, like, isn't it just time to move on? Haven't we moved on?
The science
Most
has
people are.
changed plenty on all fronts, right? Like
We forgot about COVID, and now we're talking about Ukraine.
Is anyone even still talking about that? I feel like I've moved on from that too.
well, it's weird because you don't know what you can believe. That's my problem. I'm like, I don't know what I can believe with all these. You just don't, I don't know. Like, you just don't know what you can believe, is how I feel. But
No. And like, what can you do about it? It's like with the Ukraine situation, it's like, what can you do? You know?
yeah.
Oh, you know, just change your profile picture to the Ukrainian flag.
Helping. I'm helping.
I like to do that post I made about that house. There was a house by me. So I live in like an older neighborhood built in the 70s. And then there's like a brand new neighborhood that got built at another farm right next door. And like, and they're just big, ugly, boxy tract homes, you know, and like they like have the house lit up in blue and yellow and they have this huge Ukraine flag and I'm like, oh, the war is solved. The war is solved, right?
Hopefully they're Ukrainian. That's like, I feel like that's the only acceptable explanation.
Well, the funny thing is too, now the Ukrainian flag they had up is gone and now it's back to an American and I know it's a HOA neighborhood.
Okay.
My screen might go bad here in a second, but the flag's gone, and I'm like, I wonder if the HOA made them get rid of it or something, like because that would be something an HOA would do.
Yeah, for sure.
Silly. It's also silly. How's your kitty cat?
He's good. He just came running in. Maybe he'll come around in a minute.
I'm so jealous how big he is. I'm like, I want a big cat.
I've been wanting a kitten. I've been thinking about it recently.
Do it. Just do it. Just do it.
Good. Get him
well, he goes outside and sees other cats, right?
He does, yeah. But I think it would be nice. He only goes outside when I'm home. And so when I'm not home, he's home alone. And so I feel like it would be nice for him to have like a friend, you know?
And that's what I say. I'm like, Sarah needs my little Sarah kitty. I'm like, maybe she would like a baby kitty to take care of. Like, that's how I've been saying it. I'm like, she wants a baby.
And this is how we end up with 5 cats.
Like, thank God Mr. Forrest Mommy likes cats because like it was easy to get him in on the kitten, you know, when I got her. So, because he grew up with cats. So,
Well,
I'll be right back.
Weren't you the one that like wasn't a cat person?
Well, my first pets were dogs, and then I had the neighborhood cat who like retired at our house. I fell in love with him, and he was like bigger like your cat, and he was just like he was so snuggly and sweet, and like, and he was an indoor-outdoor cat, and he wasn't ours. We knew whose he was, you know, and they had let him wander in and out, which. Like people get so mad about that, and I'm like, those cats are healthier, even if their lives are shorter, right? Like, are you ready? Okay, sorry, we have an announcement, people. Here, you sit on the couch here. I think I have it ready. Hey, celebrity and they're heavy.
Hello,
The light's not
everyone.
great. Sorry.
Hi.
Let me take
Hi.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. Why am I nervous?
I've streamed before in person.
But I'm on like a Forest Mommy stream in person.
Oh,
This
you're
is
fine.
crazy.
My streams are always silly and crazy, anyways. So.
That's true. I watch them when I can.
So they just got married.
We did.
Congratulations.
Ooh. Wait, are you like a Emily, like a state of Emily?
Mhm.
I'm on my TL all the time, but I get like nervous to follow girls. I'm like girl shy, so I'm like, I'm like, I just want to be friends, but I don't know if people are gonna like
feel like that's such a girl thing. Like it's so strange.
I'm
It's
like,
the girl politics of like Twitter.
right. And I was like so lame in high school, so I'm like still getting used to the fact that like I can just be like have friends now. I'm like I'm so shy.
It's so interesting. It's like I want to be friendly and nice to everyone on Twitter.
Right.
But some people don't want that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I'm really nice. I'm just very extra, but you know, it's just my Twitter. It's the brand.
That's
It's
what I
not-
feel like mad about you, and I'm like, listen,
Right.
some people just have strong personalities.
good at their brand, which I don't know. I'm
And
gonna
you
need
know-
to
you know
rebrand
Hex,
soon.
my-
I follow him. Yeah,
Hex is
You
my,
do?
partner.
I do follow. I follow you. I don't know why. Someone told me to follow you the other day because I was ranting about something, and they were like, "Oh, you should follow Hex. He just talked about this." I was like, "Cool." I don't remember what it was. I've been in a lot of Twitter drama recently.
Well, and you have a lot going on.
I did. Yeah, I've literally this last week has felt like 3 weeks. So
You
it's.
do
Oh well, I'll be damned. You do follow me. All right.
Well, so do you guys live in Colorado?
We live in Kansas City now, so we've been
Missouri
making
side.
so we've been making our way from
side.
California to Kansas City. We stopped in Vegas to get legally married,
Okay.
and then we went up to Salt Lake City because I wanted to see the High School Musical school. It was the best day of my life.
You're so dorky. I love it.
I
I'm
was
like
just-
doing the dance.
I was so happy. And then we're on our way to here, and then we'll go to Kansas City maybe Tuesday. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just got in. I was like, I kind of want to not go back tomorrow now, but we'll see. We'll get there eventually.
You can stay with me.
I know you said that. I was like, I might have to take you up on that.
We're setting up permanent residence here.
Yeah.
We're
We'll
setting up
just
permanent
live here.
residence
If
here.
you start getting mail sent here, then you can do the whole like, where you can, like
There you go.
what's it called?
I mean, you have enough heels for me to wear
They
for
may be too
a
small
month.
for
They
you,
probably
though.
are.
What are you,
So
9?
many heels. I'm a 9, yeah.
Ah, sorry.
Wow. Have you ever showed people this heel wall? This is insane. It's wall that I just don't wear heels.
Yeah,
but
that's the
this
thing.
is
You're
like
already 5'11".
insane. Yeah.
I'm like, I like going up to from 5'8" to like 6.
Right.
You know?
Right. And I'm gonna. I don't know how you guys do it.
Emily, you're so pretty. I need it. I was just saying before you
know.
came on, I need to do my. I was gonna fly you. If I pay for you to fly out here, would you come out
Go get
here
that
and
tequila.
do
Oh my
photos?
God, yeah. I want to come out there anyway and visit you.
It's beautiful out here. I wasn't expecting it to be so pretty.
And the drive. Did you see the drive in that area?
Oh my god, I was like going up and down so fast. I was like, it's great.
that hill, that road, because I think you took
Yeah.
the toll road to
Yeah, the
Indiana.
toll road, and then like we just pulled off somewhere to get food, and then
Yeah.
No,
The
we
drive-
should plan something. I want to come out there and we should do like a photo shoot and do our whole little thing.
So my business partner is a professional photographer. That's how we met, was through nude photography, and then
love
became
that.
real estate people together. But like, yeah, like we could, and we have all sorts of nature places we could shoot. The forest house, and then like his house, and like, so yeah, I
Do
just
it.
fly you
Yeah.
out here. We just come out here. I'll fly you out here.
Let's plan it. I
Just
want
do
to.
it.
now we
Yes.
can
So the
cheers
high
for
school
real.
just let you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, they're used to tourists coming. Like the coach that's there now, not the high school
We're
coach.
cheering. We're cheering.
Cheers.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I said I wasn't gonna drink till May 7th, but
But
then
I'm
this
here. I'm done
happened,
drinking
and-
after this.
Going well.
Yeah, me and Forrest Mommy just loves to party, but you know, it's fine.
What are you guys drinking?
I don't know. I got like a kind of fancy bottle just because this
I
is
was
like
doing
my last
tequila.
hurrah.
Is that tequila?
Yeah, it's tequila. It was like $50, which to me is fancy. I don't know. I usually get like Hornitos, but I was like, I'm gonna splurge a little bit, spend the extra 30, and get something top shelf. So it looked pretty. The bottle is pretty, so I was like, I'm gonna get that.
Yeah. I do live stream it on that side normally, so they can see like some of them.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
I don't think
yeah,
they understand
you
it goes all the way up.
did- right. It's like, yeah.
Wait, so you guys, you and your husband, what's his name?
Noah.
Noah.
Yeah,
A
I'm
little
trying to
bit. I
fit
know.
in.
Sorry. We're
You guys met on Twitter.
on Twitter. Yeah.
That's cute.
I literally manifested a whole ass husband off of Twitter. I was like, if I'm gonna be on this app all the time, like I'm gonna get something out of this. And then here he is. So, you know, we got married kind of fast, they say, but When you know,
But
you
you
know.
talked about the right things ahead of time.
Yeah,
is
like
the
we
thing.
knew we were
Everything that was important, we agreed on.
before we even met.
Yeah.
Really, like we went into meeting thinking like we're either gonna get married or we're not gonna like see each other again.
Yeah.
And it was what we thought it would be. So now we're married.
I love it.
And
because-
never
Do you-
separated.
but like
Yeah,
all
never.
these people talk about, even me and my mom were talking the other day about like the arranged marriages from the olden
Right.
days, and like there was just something about it that they
Yeah.
worked better.
They
Just, like,
work. Yeah,
like it's
they
terrible,
really work.
but
Yeah.
Yeah, I had clients that were like Indian, probably because I was training for like 4 years. There's a lot of Indians in the Bay Area because like tech and shit, right? So like I had at least 5 female Indian clients that were training for their wedding, and it was all arranged marriages.
yeah.
And you know, they're probably still in a really happy relationship.
there's something about
So,
it when you.
yeah,
And my mom, because my mom, obviously, like boomer women at first, I think we're kind of all about the like role. It was more about a role than it was about like love and fairy tales, right?
Right.
So like, it makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah. I think people get married for maybe the wrong reasons, but like
Right.
we are treating it as, I mean, they really say like the rich, successful people have better marriages because they treat marriage as like a business
As a business
transaction.
contract,
and that's
yeah.
partially what it is.
And you
Like,
wanna have
marriage is a
babies and
business.
right. We want to
stuff.
have, like, we have the same goals in life, and like, you know, like the life that we're going to have.
Are you
we
pregnant
wanna,
right now? Beth?
No, I, oh God, no, I wouldn't be drinking. I would have, we're
Oh
trying.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll be.
oh, yeah.
I mean, we're not. If we're not trying or not trying, we're just letting God do the work.
God's will.
Yeah. No, I would not be drinking if I was. I was like
It
a little
happens.
disappointed, but then I was like, you know what? I
It'll
would have been able to
happen.
enjoy my
Okay,
vacation if
back
I
up to
was.
why you
So,
were disappointed.
well, I was disappointed because I wanted to be pregnant.
Oh, yeah,
But then my period came
Yeah.
and I wasn't. But it's okay. It was like we've been trying for a month. Like it's not. It'll happen when it
hilarious.
happens. Yeah. No rush. No rush.
Sorry, bringing the messages.
There were cultural understandings. Yeah, I agree with
Yeah,
that.
especially when you guys, especially like when you're like, okay, we want to create Liberty babies,
Right.
like, and you're so young and
I know.
sweet, like, and actually, Sarah can technically be my child.
I-
So
yes,
you can
I-
especially
Yeah,
be
You
my
could
child.
definitely be my mom.
Yes,
Yeah.
I could be their mother.
How old are you guys?
I'm 24.
I am 20.
Holy shit, dude.
He doesn't look 20. He looks about 30. We were friends for like 4 months
Yeah.
before we started. Like, just one day we just started dating over Twitter. But I did not know, like, as the whole time we were friends, I thought he was like 28 or 29. And then one day he's like, wait, you know how old I am, right? I was like, yeah, like 20 something. He's like, no, I'm 20. I was like,
I mean,
what?
yeah, she thought I
But
was
then it's like by
28.
then, like, you know, we had already been friends. I don't know. I'm not a groomer. I
Well,
don't know.
maybe-
So
No, you're fine.
because people
Well,
have
and
said that
I
to
was
me
only
before, and
19.
I'm like,
I was 19.
Yeah,
It's not
we-
like I was
yeah.
You
he
live
was
on
the-
your own and shit, right?
Well,
not
sort of.
anymore.
Not right now.
It's
Yeah.
You
complicated.
will.
Yeah.
We're gonna.
You
We
know
have
how
a
It's
house
complicated.
there.
We have a house. We have a house.
Yeah.
Yeah. I work.
So
We
when
have
I
a
saw
house.
you,
all this.
how you communicate with people in Arizona, I was like,
Yeah.
that's what you need to do when you're dating. You need
Yeah.
to like communicate, like, because I've had I never really dated. I just
Right.
got
Well,
relationships.
No, that
we
was
didn't
literally
really
us.
date.
We were
Like, if we talk about literally dating, we dated for like 12 hours.
Right.
And it was the period that she got in Kansas City and we got engaged.
Yeah. But like, yeah, we literally skipped because we were like out to dinner the other night, and like the people next to us were like on a date, and I was like, isn't it crazy that we never like went on a date? Like we never dated. We never
Well, no,
did that.
we've gone
we just
on
like
dates.
got
We
married.
we've gone on dates.
Hayden
we
called you a
didn't date.
groomer. Groomer.
I know. It's
No,
weird because he's
not.
not. He was like,
I
You
was
have
19.
Liberty
Well,
Twitter.
okay, and I was
Exactly.
19. It's not like
Yeah.
I was 16.
right.
I
We
was
did not know
19.
each
I was a
other.
grown adult. I have made my own money.
Yeah.
It
As an
wasn't the
adult.
whole TW. Which I still want to have a
Yeah,
live. I want to have a podcast about that at some point because no one wants to talk about
No,
that.
I talked about it a little
Not
bit on mine with Hannah,
one-
but it was more of an apology for literally stirring up fucking World War III on Twitter
thing
between
I
the
wanna talk
VCs
about-
and the LP, and I'm like, I'm an anarchist now, leave me alone.
Well, the
Like,
thing I
fuck
want to
you
talk
guys.
about is not even specifically him.
Yeah,
Is that I
Grooming.
saw that
Yeah.
happen in Bible camp and religion and
Right.
church, and I want to talk
Right.
about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because these people are like, well, and I get, yeah, it is better if you're trying to like steer someone to have babies and be traditional. I get
Right.
that, but it's still
Not okay. That's
yeah.
still
We still need
grooming.
to talk about like
Yeah.
how I was like I had people grooming me at Bible camp, and I was like
Yeah.
not old enough to understand what's going
Yeah.
on.
I would do an episode with you and talk about that because I actually like had an experience when I was a teenager with like a 35-year-old, and it was like
Wow.
pretty fucked up. And like having all this stuff like come up on Twitter, like I have such like an interesting relationship with Twitter because I feel like Twitter often like forces me to think about things that I've like moved on from like 20 years ago, and I'm like, okay, wow, I'm like reliving this thing and seeing all these people's opinions on this kind of stuff and seeing some of the stuff that's like so despicable, and I'm just like, oh my god.
I just hated how
they
they
deal
like
with past trauma now. Thanks, Twitter.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is great.
like specifically, but I want to talk about how this happened.
Right.
And like they're all about the hobby and communities and all that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
you're really gonna let some 28-year-old talk to your 15-year-old
Right.
Like, no,
I don't
you
know. I
wouldn't.
mean, honestly, maybe in the Catholic community that's
It's
normal. Like,
different.
I
It
don't
is. It
know. Because,
is.
like, my Christian church was, like, not very.
It's even
Like,
normal
you could wear shorts
Yeah.
to church and shit. It wasn't, like, a super religious church. But, like, I know some of them are very, like, strict. Like, no alcohol and, you know. Like, I think those are the ones where it's, like, the grooming is probably normal. And, like, the parents maybe want it because they just want
Well,
their daughters to get married
exactly,
and have
'cause
babies and
we
be
think-
trad.
Yeah, you
And
think
they're all kind of expected to stay in the church.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And as like a parent, you're like, oh, this man will take care of my daughter. But then it's also like, she's fucking 15 and you're talking to her at 15 about
I did not know
it,
myself
like-
when I was 15. Like, I would have probably loved if some like hot 20-something-year-old come swoop me off my feet, you know?
Oh,
like,
I got in trouble.
and that's grooming because I didn't know any better.
No, you don't know.
So
Like, I
that's
know
why they
girls
have an
who-
age of consent law.
And I know you talked about it too, like they end up with their youth pastor at 18.
Yes!
And I saw
Yeah.
that 2 times happen.
I know.
And they were married at
It's so
as
bad.
soon as she turned 18.
So bad.
And I'm like,
Gross.
I'm like, they're like, but it's okay because it's within the church. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but it's
No,
not.
someone at my
Well-
high school did that. With the vice principal, that was a vice principal when I was in middle school. Back in the day when my older brother
Ooh,
went to that
That's
school.
not even religious.
Yeah, he was a coach. So his name was Mr. Frasconi. I'll dox him because he's a public figure. You know, like when he's the principal, whatever. So he married his current wife, like right when she turned 18, after she graduated, and he was her coach of the girls' soccer team back then. And then right when she graduated, they got married.
That's sketch.
That's
bro.
still great, and
That
that
is
was in the
sketch,
school. That was
bro.
only
Coaching
yes,
is
that was
Yes.
only like
Coaching is-
15 years
yeah.
ago that my
Swimming
brother
and
graduated.
gymnastics coaching.
Yeah.
Wrestling
Right?
too. Wrestling
so
Oh,
too.
because there's more girls in wrestling.
No, not
Oh.
just girls. A lot of wrestling coaches will
Oh, hi, Tad.
teach moves to the athletes, the wrestlers. I've seen story after story about the wrestling
It's just,
coaches,
like so common.
Yeah. and it
Yeah.
shouldn't
And that's
be
what I want to talk. I don't
Right.
necessarily want to talk about that guy.
But just like
And their
the
grooming in
whole-
general.
Yeah.
and then like, why do we allow it when it's sometimes and not?
I think when it's
like-
through religion, it's better. But
Oh,
like,
tactical.
I know Tack's here.
Tack will probably be on your show later while we're all
Yeah, we're
fucked
just
up.
gonna be drinking and partying, and
I'm having you guys want another shot? I'm not-
I'll take another shot. Go get
Let's
the.
finish.
He has to not go too quick.
Okay.
I think you should.
Drink,
is
yeah,
that
and
okay?
drink
I'm not
water
trying to
because we're at
confront
high
you, but-
altitude right now.
Yeah,
so.
take one and then
Where'd
like,
you put your
just-
shot glass?
right here.
Do you guys feel okay from the high altitude?
Oh
I've
yeah,
been-
no. Okay, my stomach's been fucked up for a few days. Like I could not eat anything, but I'm okay now.
Well, I know.
But
I
yeah.
I've been through Denver
Yeah.
multiple times.
Yeah,
I'm
and
so
this
not
is
used to
this
this
is
at
new to
all.
me.
We were literally
Or nothing
driving
new to
through
me.
the snow. Oh my
And
god.
You were in Cheyenne last
we
night,
were
right?
up high. My car almost skirted off the road. Literally, we were. How long did we skirt for? Like 6 seconds.
It was
I don't
longer
know.
than 6
I
seconds.
just like knew what to do. Like I've
Shouldn't
never.
drive in snow.
Yeah, I don't drive in snow, and for some reason, I was just like, "Oh, all right, this is happening," and I just like did fine. I controlled the car, but it was scary.
It is scary.
It
and
was
it's
like, we
annoying because
could've
it's like it's
died.
not fucking winter.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That was and it wasn't
Well, it
even
was
happening in the
dirt.
snow. It was,
was a
like
dirt
20 minutes
patch.
after the snow.
It was
right.
a dirt patch.
It had like blown on the. It was all bad. That was my jewel. Fine. Yeah, it was bad, but I'm
Cheers.
alive. Cheers to being alive and not skirting off the road 5 days.
It was the actual legal wedding.
Wednesday. Remember, we had to
So
push it back a day because we
April-
drove to Vegas Tuesday.
Yes, because we
We were
went to
running late.
Bakersfield Monday.
Yeah,
Vegas-
so
okay,
Wednesday
yeah.
we got out like 2 p.m.
What day is that? April.
It was April 20th.
It was 420. It was 420. It was
Oh, we
420.
don't. Yes. Now we're gonna look like fucking stoners, and neither of us even smoke weed. But that was the only time they had available. We have a 420 anniversary, but we're gonna say it's 416
'Cause that was the
probably,
day
that
of
was
the
like
wedding.
the family ceremony and shit.
That's what matters. is
Yeah,
like,
the legal shit. It was
the
literally we walked in, we
emotional-
signed the paper, we had to say I do, and
Yeah.
then we just like left.
It was
and,
like
and
5
Trump
minutes.
married you.
Yeah,
Yes.
Trump married.
Why did you want to get legally married?
Taxes.
Like honestly, okay. I think a lot of people that are like better off in life financially and shit, like they can just be emotionally married without the pay. But like we were looking at it, and like there's just a lot of stuff being left to
And
people
you're so
in this.
young. You guys are both
And
so
it
young.
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
actually
So
helps
young.
us to get the tax breaks. And it's
Right.
unfortunate, like if you can't beat them, join them. So
'Cause
Right.
that's what we're
you're
doing.
Not a
Like,
millionaire
No,
yet.
No.
we're not
Yeah,
yet.
so-
Well, it's
And
just
neither
like,
of us are using each other for money. Like we don't got much of that, you know. Like we each have stuff that's separate, but like
yeah.
it's just we want to have kids, and it's helpful to have it legally like tied down.
Well,
We're
it's
just not in the
easier
position
too.
that we can afford to not do
If
that. I guess.
anything were to happen to either one of us,
Yeah.
there wouldn't really be another person that our stuff would go to.
Right.
So it's like in the very unfortunate event that it does happen,
Yeah.
at least there's
And
someone.
we've already
There's
agreed
some
that we're not going to do
legal-
like the child support. We're not
No.
going to have the government tell
If
us what we need
anything
if
ever
anything
happens.
happened. Like we're not telling the government how much child support he has to pay me each month. Like he's going to take care of his kids. I'm like we're not doing that, you know.
Yeah.
So like we're on the same page about even if we get a divorce, God forbid. But you know, people are curious about that, obviously, because we met. But yeah, the government will not be any more involved than they already are.
But we're not
Like,
getting a divorce.
no, we're not.
We're not getting a
Yeah,
divorce.
this is what people like talk shit about. When
Yeah.
I
Well, you know, that's like she said. It's just people like to talk shit because
Yeah.
it's. I mean, we
No,
found love on Twitter.
I've
Yeah.
had a handful of friends randomly get married fast.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but you know
And
what?
people
I'm gonna
last
say this.
forever.
Some work out, some don't. In every marriage, some
Yeah.
normal fucking they dated for years before
then
they
they
and then
get
they
married,
don't
and
end
then-
up working.
Yeah.
Like there's no
There's no timeline on it.
There's
No.
no perfect thing
Right.
for it.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's how you in Arizona, how you were talking to that Liam. Like I'm like, you know
Right.
it.
Yeah.
As long
I
as
was
you
like,
can
I'm gonna
honestly say what you
do-
want.
yeah.
Well, and that's like one thing that we are really both good at is just being open with each other.
Yeah, I think our communication is like too good.
Honestly,
Like,
sometimes.
because then, like every time I get
For-
slightly
yes.
annoyed, I'm like, can you not like breathe
Well,
like
and
that?
just for how narcissistic both of us are, is it's
You're
just like I can be very narcissistic
Yeah.
at times. I
But
can
like
be
it's the good narcissistic.
Yeah, the, like,
it's
when
just
you
like we
admit
own
it.
our shit. We know who we are.
Yeah.
We know what we do.
It's
And,
like I'm confident in who I am
Yeah.
too, so I'm like,
but we're not like evil narcissists.
no, we're not.
Yeah.
Hate other people
It's
because of who
Yeah,
we are.
it's
Just being
confident
confident and,
narcissist.
like-
the word narcissist is thrown out like
It's one of
probably
those
too
words that
vaguely
gets
these days,
used
but-
way too
Because
much
a lot of people
because of
have
what it applies to.
narcissistic traits. We
Right.
all do,
Doesn't make
especially
them
the year how we internet everything like all
Right.
of us live in it.
Yeah, like
but
you
it's,
can't do OnlyFans and not be a little bit of a narcissist. Come on now, obviously, like
Or you're just
Yeah.
like me and your entire camera roll is pictures of myself.
yeah.
Well, you guys gotta get a dog then, and it'll be pictures.
I
of the
know.
We're getting,
We gotta get our house built.
We already agreed
it's
once the
built,
house
but we gotta
is-
get it fixed up.
once the house is to where we can live in it, we're gonna get a puppy.
dog. Yeah, you have to.
Yeah.
Emily's gonna get a kitty, and she's cute. Her cat's so sorry. Go ahead. It's weird chat.
I know.
High energy over
we
here
haven't
right
seen each other. I haven't seen her, so we're just like catching up on live. Jake, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like take the attention away.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's just a good stream.
That's good. That's true.
And I
Isn't it
love.
like-
Oh, let me show you the boots I was talking about, Emily. They're so cheesy.
Oh yeah. Show me.
How many cute boots she has though? Like
I
they're
have
all
so
You want me to
many
build you a
boots.
boot rack like
I
that?
want a boot rack.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, those are
Look at
cool.
that.
But hers
Those
are
are
more
really cool.
beautiful. These are cheesy, but hers are
I
beautiful.
like those.
Wow.
Yeah, I love it.
They're knee high.
We need to wear ours together.
What shoe size do you wear, Emily?
Like a 6.5.
Oh, you have little feet. You're tiny.
Gee. Oh my gosh.
I'm like almost 5'8".
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's like
That's
okay.
still tiny.
That's like not short. Yeah.
she's not
No, I have
short.
small feet for
She's
my
not
height too. I'm like a size 9, so that's like
You
you
might be able
know.
to fit into some of this stuff.
What size shoe do you wear?
Me?
Yeah.
Like pretty much a solid 8.
Okay.
Some are like a little bigger, some are a little smaller, but pretty much a size 8.
Damn, I have small feet then. I'm a
You?
9, and
because
I'm
you're
like 6
5'11".
inches taller than you. You said
6
you're an,
inches?
you said you're an 8.
I'm 5'8".
Oh, okay, yeah,
You're
that's
only
true.
3
I'm
inches
only like
taller.
4. I'm 4 inches. I'm 6 feet on a good day.
I'm 5'8" when I'm doing yoga regularly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm 5'7"
Seriously.
and a half.
We went to the gym earlier, so I'm a little like
Yeah.
up right now. But
And I'm taller than you because I went to the gym.
Do you know Dino? He's in the chat right now. Vincent. It's a missing clue. He's in.
oh yeah, he's in my group chat. Hey.
He talks
Hi,
out here because
Dino.
he's in Austria. It's but that's
Yeah,
what I
I
love
didn't
about
know
the
he
whole.
was in Austria
like,
until recently.
Okay, it's like being too online, lame,
Shit.
whatever.
Right.
But like I've made friends in Australia, Austria, California, like everywhere. You know.
Yeah, no,
And-
I have friends from all over the map. I wish I could have done just like a see all my Twitter friends road trip, but we actually literally only came this way to see you. We were gonna
Yeah.
go. We were gonna go
Take the
down through
southern
New
route.
Mexico.
Well,
and,
did you
and-
have to go off 70 anyways, right?
right for Salt Lake
Eventually, yeah.
City? But like
80 goes
we were gonna
north,
go
80
Yeah.
down, back
Eventually,
down,
we would
but
have
then
had to come down this way anyways.
right,
Yeah.
we were like, let's just go see Forest
Yeah.
Mommy. Let's like,
Yeah,
let's,
if you have to come south a little bit.
Right.
but-
Well, no matter what way we would have gone, we would have had to get very close.
Oh
to-
shit! Sorry, boosted.
Oh, that's Quincy.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he's in Denver all the
Is he
time.
around? Should we go hang out with him tomorrow?
He can come over here and hang out.
I'll just be like,
And guess who else is in town tomorrow? Phil from All Remains, the singer guy. The
Oh,
has a day off tomorrow.
Cool. Okay.
Band?
Phil that remains.
Boosted. I just sent you the link. Boosted.
I don't know. Like I didn't
Okay.
know he was in a band. But
Okay, maybe.
He's
I
in a
don't know.
he's in a metal band.
Yeah,
He's
okay,
very
yeah.
liberty.
I didn't know
Okay.
that he was in a band until like we were
Okay.
mutuals. But yeah, he's cool.
Sorry, boosted. Emily, what did you have for lunch today?
What?
What did you have for lunch?
Do you guys have tender greens there? You heard of that?
I was in. I was like, I thought I know that name.
Is
No,
it
I
like
don't
a
think I have it
salad
here.
place or?
It's kind of like you pick a protein, like you can do like chicken, fish, steak, whatever. And then they have like side options that you do with it.
Don't you hate though, like how much California overcharges for a fucking salad? But then it's so hard because I know sometimes it's just so like you have to go out to eat. But it's like it was so hard for me to go out to eat healthy because it was like I'm paying $20 for a salad that I could have made for $3. That's why I hate like those tender green places. It just irks me. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
I don't eat out a lot. Like I
I
make
should-
most of my food at home.
We're going out more. I like how you posted that the other day because I'm feeling the same. Like when I went
Yeah.
dancing finally at the place I hadn't gone for 2 years and stuff, I was like, I need to go out more. I saw them MJ from the B was like, let's go out, and I'm like, I want to stay home, but I'm like, I need to go out. Like I need to force myself out more. It's like
Yeah.
time. It's time for us pretty people to go out. You know,
Mike's here.
he's a rag. There's Boost. Hey, Boosted.
What up?
I don't know if my audio is working or not. I'm not getting sound coming through so I'm
We hear
probably had to
you.
log back in a couple times.
Do you know Emily? Do you know Mike
Go figure
Oxford?
the normal.
Just follow each other.
Why do you call him? You said boosted?
Well, he's on YouTube. He's Boosted, but on Twitter he's Mike Oxlong,
Okay.
and then he has a whole nother real name too. So.
There we go. I have a real name though.
He's down. Are you at your dad's house, Mike? Is that or your mom's?
Yeah, well, my dad's stepmom's South
Nice.
Texas. Yeah.
Normally he hops on and we all get fucked the fuck off, and then we start talking, and like
It's
it
a bit
goes
of
off.
a scene, yeah.
But we're off the rails already. So I feel like, is it too tall? I need to like
Too tall.
my fucking setup. Did you guys see my setup when I posted a picture of it the other day? It's so lame.
Should I open some champagne?
Yeah.
Why not? Do it.
It's
Get
Sunday,
drunk.
baby. Let's do it. I'm lowering my camera one more time. Hex, did you get dinner?
No, I haven't eaten yet.
I know I need to work. I need to figure out dinner too.
Where'd Sarah go? She left during the interim.
She's getting some champers.
But that was Emily. No, where did Liberty Thought go?
Oh, they're. I don't know what they're doing.
All right.
They literally just drove up, so. And I'm trying to figure out all this stuff. Sorry. Did you go sailing yesterday at all, or no?
And it's too windy. Like we would literally just motor around if we could even get out of the slip.
What kind of boat does your dad have?
It's a 35-foot Canadian sailcraft.
Sailboat?
Yeah, sailboat.
Is it like on Step Brothers, that boat? Have you ever seen Step Brothers, the movie?
I haven't watched the entire thing all the way through. No.
Shit.
It's so funny because they're like they're planning on retiring and like doing the sailboat, and then they the boat. That's why I said Boats and Hoes. I don't know if you know Boats and Hoes, but you got to watch that movie.
Did you get to see our shot glasses?
Oh yeah, So those
One of
are
these is
what
for
we're
you.
getting
One of these is for you.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because like we are seriously.
The shot glasses have their
One.
picture on it. It's
Oh,
hard to
fucking
see.
That was our wedding present to people, and we wanted her to come to the wedding, but she couldn't. Obviously,
But you're here now.
It was
Yeah.
kind of a last minute
So-
thing.
Yeah, it was kind of.
We're
I
going
thought it
for
was
a
going to be in
wedding.
like a year.
we did too, but then weddings are expensive, and houses are expensive, and babies are expensive, and we were like,
And everything
we're
is
just gonna get
expensive.
it.
Yeah, you don't
Everything
need
is
to-
expensive.
Everything
Yeah.
is fucking expensive.
If we still want to do something big, we can.
Yeah,
once
you
we're-
can always.
yeah.
So this is what I tell. Like, there's a lot of women who get mad because they want a wedding or whatever, and I say, listen, you can throw a pretty princess party.
Yeah.
Anytime you want.
Right.
It won't be marriage, but you can throw a party for yourself.
do a
anytime
vow
you
renewal or
want.
Yeah.
something, right?
Or
Like if you really want it to be like that.
We
yeah.
spent the bare minimum.
Right. We spent more on this road trip honeymoon than
Yeah.
we did.
Good.
Yeah.
Well,
On
that's
our
like
wedding.
my neighbor over here, the house over here.
Dang it! Look at that fancy glass.
His
These are
daughter.
my fancy glasses that I just got for my birthday.
Cute.
My neighbor's dad said, the dad and mom who live there said, we'll pay for either a wedding or
Yeah.
down payment for a house.
Right.
This dumb bitch chose the wedding.
Oh my God.
word. Why
And
would you choose a wedding
then
over a
wait,
house?
like
So
5
bad.
months later, they were moving back in with
Yeah.
mom and
Yeah.
dad, and then had kids
That's
with
so
mom
bad.
and dad
That's so
there.
bad.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
you're
we
gonna get
were.
free money from somewhere.
I mean, we
like-
kind of like have a house in the family that
We have a house.
not, but
Yeah,
it's
we have
gonna
a
need
house.
like 50,000-60,000 of repairs, and it's just
That's
like
fine. You'll
you,
be there.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
What
it's
do you
like
do for work?
expensive.
I'm in the trades.
And you do trades?
Yeah.
High five.
He does all the trades. He's
Nothing's
gonna
like-
fix the whole
No,
house.
Nothing
that's
specific.
That's what Mr. Forrest Mom is saying.
Nothing specific. Like I'm a crackhead for drywall. Can I say crackhead on here?
Yes,
Okay.
it's not.
For
I'm not
drywall.
monetized.
Okay.
We're on Disney
Well,
Channel.
I don't know,
Yeah,
but like for drywall,
Do you do finishing or hanging or?
yes, all of it.
Oh,
I
good.
hang it like straight from the studs, framework,
I'm so proud. I'm so
Yeah.
proud.
he's a
Because
Hang
that's
it.
what
He's a
we
man.
need.
and then
yeah.
and then I will do the drywall mud and the drywall tape on it.
I don't get the reference.
So he's
an
a
absolute-
contractor.
Yeah.
That's
But
I
I
do real
also-
estate. He does the
I
houses.
also
That's what
love
I'm about to
doing
do.
concrete work. I've told her
I
that
know.
Because you
time
can
after
do it and you
time.
can keep it, you can get it, and you don't have to work for fucking Remax or any shit.
Yeah.
And have it where it's really. I don't pay anything except for when I close a deal.
Right.
I pay $300, and that's
That's
it.
it. Yeah, and,
And then
Kansas
my-
City's like coming
And
up
it's
right now.
so huge in the real
Software.
estate market
Kansas
right
City-
now.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
the shit ass.
And
I
I
used to
just
work
saw
for.
how many
He was a
fucking
girl.
houses they're building around here.
Did you
like,
see all that
dude,
shit?
There's
yeah,
so
of course
many.
I was
I know.
No, I'm
She said
not,
she
though.
said
Yeah,
that.
like
She
not.
said,
But I was
yeah.
like, you
I
could, that's
could,
so,
but I don't.
yeah.
But yeah, I
It's like,
just-
if you don't need
Go for
to.
Kansas
All of the
City.
trades in general, like there's
We
obviously
need
ones that I
people.
don't like.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do work in a crane.
Right.
No.
Well,
No.
that's a mind thing.
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
not that I'm
No.
afraid of heights. I
No.
just don't want to be suspended
Brick?
up there for that long.
Brick?
Brick and mortar, no.
Brick and like drywall, like you said, anything. That's what we need right now.
Yeah.
Plumbers, electricians.
Yeah.
I can't do plumbing.
You could
Well,
probably.
He doesn't want to.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
there's
gross
not- yeah.
work. It's gross
Oh no, it's not
work.
the
But you need
grossness
a lot
for
of
me. It's not the
money.
grossness.
It's just the thing. Well, because the thing is, when you start doing plumbing and like you start a project, it turns into a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
But that's how it is when you start almost
Any
any
project,
project in
it
the
is.
trades.
There's a bathroom over there in that room that has been not finished.
Yeah, well, that's what I've learned is it's like anything when it comes to remodeling houses is because that's where like
Right,
I
that's where
want
you
to end
can
up.
charge
That's where I
them.
want to
Yeah.
end up is flipping houses, doing our
Right.
own real estate.
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and then you don't
rent
gotta worry about
rent houses and stuff like
Right.
that. But one thing I've learned is it's always
Oh, shit.
family.
but it's
I love
always
that.
account for more in damages
right.
than what you see on the eye.
Right. Yeah, like when you bid a deal, you have to say, listen, there's something come up.
Well,
Something
I had
come
a
up.
friend who did one. Everything was fine on the outside of the kitchen. They tore the drywall off. There was black mold on the framework.
Bad
That's
black
smart. You gotta-
mold.
It was like
Yeah.
$10,000 to get the whole house demolded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you always have to account for more
Because
in damages.
That's just how it is.
Shit happens.
But then
It's
like
the
you got
age-old
these
saying.
fucking bitches in these nice houses over there, and they're like, "What? It's not done yet." And you're like, "Well, honey," and then they
It
want to
takes a while.
change shit half the way through. They'll change their mind. And,
Yeah.
but you,
I have a friend who does it. He has a rule. Once you submit what you want done for your room, it's final.
yeah, or
You don't
there's
get
gonna
to
be
change
this
it.
charge.
Or there's going to be an additional charge,
Give me the
and
orange juice.
Sorry, we're
you
talking
will pay. Yeah, and you will pay
No,
an upcharge.
So I worked for this asshole for a while, or I had my license there for a while, and he did rentals out in Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas.
Mhm.
It was he had slumlord clients. They were slums,
Right.
but it was up. It is
Well,
good
I
up
think
there.
slums is a
Yeah.
good place to start.
It's up and
Be
coming.
right
I mean,
back.
we just have our house. Like in 10 years, we
Hex.
Yeah.
Wait, weddings are great investments. No, they're not.
honestly,
Sorry, we were talking. Sorry, everybody.
No,
who's
leave your
here.
question.
Everybody's leaving.
It's just we have
We're like,
the-
bye.
Hi. Oh, you're doing beer. Emily's doing champers.
You like my little glasses that I got from
I love
everything?
I love your house, Emily. All your pictures are so beautiful of your like space. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
And your cat, of course.
I wonder where he is. I'm gonna find him in a second.
It's Charles, right?
Charles.
I love human names for animals. This is the
I do
best.
too.
We're cat parents now.
We have a cat.
Do you guys have a
Wait, have you always lived in LA?
Yeah, I was born here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I respect you staying there. And honestly, I fucking more than anyone know how annoying it is when people are like, you gotta get out of California. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah, she
dude,
knows.
fuck you. This is my home. This is my life. Like, I'm not just gonna, it's not as easy to leave as people act. So, like, much
That's-
respect to you for probably putting up with a bunch of assholes on Twitter all day telling you have to get out. It's like, she can do what the fuck she wants, first of all. But second of all, like, you're the one dealing with the bullshit. So, if
Well,
you
the
can
funny
handle
thing
it,
is
do
too,
it.
like they don't know. Like they only have like an idea of what they think LA is based on like whatever they're basing that on, usually generally not firsthand experience. And like
Yeah.
and like I've lived here my whole life. My family is here, all my friends are here, my career is here, and it's like
It's not that
you
easy
know,
to up and move. Like I wasn't planning on moving until like I met Noah, but like until then I was planning on moving with my parents. If
yeah.
I'm gonna go out my life, I at least want my mom and my dog with me. You know, like I'm not just gonna move.
I mean, I would consider like if I met someone who lived somewhere else and like we fell in love and like wanted to be together, like it's not like off the table for me that I would consider moving, but it's like I'm established enough now in like my career and what I'm doing that like
Yeah, like it's my life. You know, if you need someone else, keep doing your life.
Yeah.
Hi, puppy.
But I do love it here. Like I don't care about
Like,
like
you're in a good part. Like I was in a nice part of the Bay Area. It's like I wasn't living in the fucking Oakland slums. You know. Like,
well, and I don't know, like I aside from like the weird political stuff that's gone on in the last like couple years, like for the most part, like I vibe with people here. Like aside
Yeah.
from that stuff, like
right. And you find cool people. Like you really do. I find all the red-pilled people in the Bay Area. You just kind of get a vibe where you're like, okay, I think this person's kind of cool, and then you just get into conversation, and you're like, yeah, they are cool.
well, and what I do like specifically like with my work and stuff, it's like
She's a yoga teacher.
I
Oh, okay, nice.
And she does photography and she designs clothes.
Wow.
I do a lot of stuff, but it's also kind of like the way I teach yoga is like very well received here, which like wouldn't necessarily be the case everywhere I went. So it's just kind of like I don't know. It works for me right now. And eventually like I'm not opposed to leaving, but it would have to be for the right situation.
Yeah, don't just leave because of politics. Like that just makes me so mad when people are like, "Oh, how could
So
you?"
go
stay
Colorado.
there?
Everyone's like, go
Yeah.
Colorado. I'm like, I'm
like, you're in a
giving
good
that.
area, right? It's
Well,
not
it's
as
not
bad as
real life. It's like your perception of like everything that goes on the internet and the way we like perceive what's happening in the world for me is so different when I walk outside my front door. It's like I'm not caring about the same things. I'm not interacting with people in the same ways. Like, you know what I mean? And so it's like not reality in that way, you know?
Yeah, it's like, it's not, my whole life is not, I walk outside and I'm just like, oh, I fucking hate that Gavin Newsom is my governor. It's like, going to work or going to grab a coffee. It's not all like anger all the time. And honestly, I think getting on Twitter made me more angry about living in California because it's like, yeah, but then it's like obviously gas price. I mean, I may or may not have committed tax evasion or just found ways to make money, you know, without having. So it's like, yeah, taxes are high, but like, don't pay them. That's it. Like, you just gotta find ways to.
I paid mine last year because I'm 1099, so I have to pay at the end of the year, and then
Right.
they sent it back, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Fuckers!"
I was just a personal trainer helping out friends.
Yeah,
That's
never
it.
needed to.
Getting on Twitter, definitely. I was thinking about this earlier today. Like, it definitely has changed my perspective on the ways people interact on the internet. Like, it's definitely made me more guarded, more jaded. Just like in a like, I feel like when I first came to Twitter, I'm like remembering the person I was when I first started using Twitter, and I was like so naive about like internet behavior. Like, I never would have like expected people to be like liars or like taking out their unhealed angry shit on strangers. Like, I was so like,
or trying to have a whole ass relationship with you when they have a whole ass relationship with other people.
let's not open that.
Yeah, but that's like people online can just put on a whole different perception than they actually are.
I never would have expected what happened to me, my Twitter love story that went awry. Like, I never would have ever expected something like that because I don't operate in the world that way. Like,
you don't lie like that.
I'm not a fucking liar. And so like, I don't know.
Serious lying.
Yeah. It's really just like Twitter is something else. But you meet a lot of cool people. Yeah, it's just tobacco. Is it okay if I'm just like drooling in
Virginia.
here?
I don't do jewels. I don't know.
Oh, okay. But I can smoke it in here? It's
Yeah,
not gonna
I don't care.
I
It's
was
very
like,
addicting.
smell.
It's
No,
very
yeah, it's just
addicting.
nicotine. I'm quitting soon, I promise.
I don't care.
But I can't smoke if I have a baby.
Well, yeah. That's,
I gotta
you
quit
can't
soon.
do a lot of things in here.
Yeah.
Growing in you.
Yeah.
This is my last hurrah. Once I get back to Kansas City, I need to get a job. I need to get a fucking license and like register my like just adult shit that I've never had to do before. I'm like, when you just walk into the DMV and you're like, hey, I live here now. Like, I don't know
No,
what to
you
do.
have to have proof of residency.
But how am I gonna have proof of residency?
When you guys have that house, you'll change the shit into
Yeah.
your name.
Well, we can get the house changed to our name like right away.
Yeah.
But
Even the electricity bill. Or
yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
Right.
And then get your insurance or
I'm
bank
not
statement, anything sent to the house.
No, I'm
I
trying.
used to- in
I
my
learn as I
20s,
go, man. That's
So
it.
I moved out when I was 17, and I was a very responsible adult from 17 to 26.
Yeah.
And then I became a very not responsible
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah, I tried to be
Everyone.
responsible. What?
Pour me one. I take a shot with
I'm
Flores.
still working on being
You
responsible adult.
You're
Just
100%.
That's
I
just
like
nice.
feel bad because it was so because in my 20s I was like, it wasn't when I was like the leftist feminist, but I was like, women can fucking run their life, you know, like all that shit. And then like the minute I didn't have to work, I was like, yes,
You're like, yeah, sign me up for that.
choose. And then
I
I
was never,
estate agent and all that shit, but
Real estate.
I don't know. I was never like campaigning like independent women. Like, I can do like, I would love to be taken care of. Like, I'm not like, I'm like,
it just seemed normal though. You move out, you pay your bills, you work, like that was
Right.
normal.
Yeah, I've been
You
working
know.
a lot since I was like I've been making good money since I was 18 with my career. It's like never something I thought of like needing to brag about.
No.
It's just like what I did.
But I remember like
I liked
especially
having a job.
it started with like the millennials age.
Yeah.
I'm the old millennial, like that. Like, oh, there he is. He's so big. He's so big.
I like his neck.
He's so big.
It's me right now. Just like, stop it.
I know. You pick them up and they're like pushing away, like push against you. They're like,
So he has like a really weird thing about like being on camera. He doesn't like it.
Wow, he knows when he's on camera. That's
He
hilarious.
does. He really does. And like, I don't know if you guys have ever heard like Aboriginal tribes. Like, there's like a whole thing where they say that like being on camera steals like a part of your soul.
yeah.
And I feel like animals have that same feeling sometimes.
Wow.
Like, I feel like they don't like it.
No,
My
my
soul's
dog's
definitely
always
been
like,
stolen.
yeah,
I was gonna
like,
say, well, I mean, we're all
"Oh."
being spied on by the government anyway, so all of us are being
What?
We're all getting spied on by the government, he said.
Do you think maybe
For all of our
that's why the
souls.
cameras are so like everywhere? Because it just sucks the soul out of us all the time.
There was a Goosebumps. Were you guys old enough for Goosebumps?
Oh, I love the Goosebumps
There was a
movies.
Goosebumps, I remember, that was about that, where it was like taking pictures and it was like taking pictures.
I think technology is like it's like the devil, but it's like it's actually how we interact with it. Like the more
You
that
just
we
have to have a good relationship with
You have to know
Then
when to hop on.
that. That's
it's
it.
like temptation. Like devil energy is temptation, and technology is like the ultimate. It's like the apple from the tree.
Yeah, and it's hard to not let it like get to you. Like I'll still even go online
This is my
sometimes and just see
friend.
people. I'm just like, fuck you. And then I'm like, wait, why do I care about your opinion again? But it's hard when you like have just people bombarding you with their opinions all the time.
Oh,
Like
it's
the amount
hard.
of people that told me and Noah that we were gonna get a divorce, I was like, thanks. That's kind.
It really is hard, and it's like, yeah, you can block them and mute them, but sometimes the damage
They're always
has been done when somebody's like said something like horrendous to you, and you're just like,
The hardest thing is it's just people in the libertarian community sending me hate. It's like, dude, I did not ask to have 13,000 followers. And I don't want to be one of those people that's like, oh, the life chose me, but it's like, I'm sorry people follow me because they think I'm funny. But like, I can't control it, you know? It's your fault if you give me this much power over your fucking political party. I'm just here to vibe. Like, I'm just having a good time. Why are you so annoying?
yeah, people are crazy.
Yeah,
It's like,
but
this
it's fine.
weekend,
I'm
I'm
taking a
done.
step back
Okay,
from the
well, we're
convention
partying
shit
hard.
for a
Yeah,
while.
for good.
It's it's a lot. It's very clicky. I don't like cliques. I wanted to be libertarian, so I wasn't involved in cliques, and now I feel like I've just recently been like sucked into like cliques and cults, and I'm like, yeah, time to take a step back and just focus on my husband and having kids.
Clicks and
Yeah.
what?
I think I need some orange juice in this.
Well, you've got plenty to work on now, Sarah. So I mean,
Yeah.
Cheers.
You gotta get,
Cheers.
after this shit, you gotta get healthy and then start making babies. Do you
Baby
really you
Alex
like
Joneses and baby Joe Rogans.
you
That was the
guys
promise we made.
and you have
Yeah.
really good
lots of elk liver.
That's the
No,
one
we
thing
really do want it. Like, I'm done after this weekend. Just
I'm the shortest male in my dad's book. I'm
How are
6
you?
foot, so it's in my. Here, I got it. You kept dropping
I'm
it.
seeing it.
But
Help
she's
drop
so,
it.
like you guys should have babies.
No, we're
That's
gonna
my
have at
thing.
least
Look
like
at-
6-foot babies.
I
Yeah.
get mad because like I never wanted kids, but I'm like
Yeah.
I'm the only kid who should have fucking
Yeah.
had kids.
Wait, how tall is Noah?
All natural.
What, Emily?
How tall is Noah?
6 foot.
6 foot. 6'1" on a good day.
They'll have tall, beautiful babies.
Probably they're gonna be NFL linebackers or something. He's pretty good at sports. We were at the High School Musical school, and I kept trying.
Yeah,
I
did you guys-
literally kept trying to score the basket because I was like, I want to be Troy Bolton. And the first time he picked up the basketball, he scored it right away, and I was like, what the fuck? Like,
On a
he's just
post
good at sports.
fadeaway. On a post fadeaway. at
Whatever
that.
that means.
I don't know if anyone
Yeah,
saw
he's
her
just-
videos. So she's a baby.
Oh, shit, I need to
She
take
grew
this
up
off.
with High School Musical.
I don't know what is that.
Oh, okay, it's my favorite Disney.
It's like the thing that
And
Zach,
here
that guy,
we go.
Yeah,
Like
Zac
Zac
Efron.
Efron.
that guy. Okay.
That was like
Ashley
what made
Tisdale.
them really famous. I don't know. It's maybe my autism. I don't think I'm autistic, and then people are like, "Wait, haven't you seen High School Musical 130 times?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you know what? Maybe I am autistic." Like, I just love
She
it.
was
so
at the
much.
school like dancing.
I was crying. Like, I was crying when I saw the school. Like, it's just a lot. It still makes me emotional. I don't know why. It's just a school.
I mean, it's your
We're
favorite
all
thing.
too old for
it's
that.
my
Well, not
childhood.
Hex.
It was my childhood.
Hex
on my
Hex, did you
current
watch?
day.
Hex, did you watch High School Musical?
Not really, no.
Hex, how old are you?
I don't think it's weird because
How old am I?
Yeah.
25.
You love it, and I've seen it so many. It's just my happy movie. Like when I'm sad and
It was
crying.
just
I'm
honestly-
37 as well. You, me, and Mommy are the same age.
You're what? What do you say? I didn't hear that.
I'm 37 as well. You, me, and Mommy are all the same age.
The same.
I'm the oldest though, so I am mommy.
Wait,
I like 5 months.
you're turning 38 though.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we're all the same age right now.
Yeah, we are all 37. And look how hot we are. We're so hot.
Damn, I'm the
Like,
youngest person here.
I'm hotter now than I was 10 years
oh, me too. When I had money to throw up my fucking problems, then I got hotter.
ago.
Oh, I will say before COVID, when I used to go to yoga a lot more, I feel like shit has happened over the last 2 years. I didn't have, because you went and taught it and you were good, you know, like I still have not been in a hot yoga class since March 2020.
Oh my
And
god.
that fucks me up. It
Okay,
fucks me up.
I'm gonna come visit you, and then you're gonna come visit me, and you're gonna come take my class.
Let's do it. I have a bunch of money right now. Let's just do it. I'll
Let's
pay
do that. Letlet's spend it.
for it.
So what is like? I'm curious. What is your like method of yoga teach? Because I just do it more for like flexibility and like stress relief. Because like I work out a lot, so I just like to do yoga to be like more flexible. But like we were listening to like Sadi Guru on Joe Rogan, and
He's
like
good.
he's very
He's
into like
interesting.
Sadi
heard of
Guru.
him?
Yeah.
I
So
watched
he's
that.
very
Yeah,
into being
he
it
is
like basically
so-
the end all be all of humanity. Like if you don't do yoga, you're gonna die basically. So like
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like what is like your method of teaching it that like you want people to know when you like teach it?
Well, first of all, I'm like the anti-guru when it comes to anything. Like I think anyone that like exalts themselves as like a guru or like somebody who is like
It's always something to be careful of.
it's like yeah, I think that's always like kind of a red flag. But for me, like I came from a background of being a dancer, and I got into Pilates and yoga to kind of like rehab my body because dancing had done like so much
It's
damage.
a lot. Yeah, even with lifting weights, it's a lot. Like when you do a sport like that, it's yeah.
And then like I had gotten really heavily into like drinking and partying when I was younger, and like when I came back around to yoga, it was really like being able to find like a sense of community with people that were healthy and like basically like, kind of, you know, putting my energy into something that was good for me instead of something that was destructive and toxic was like really beneficial to me.
Right.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So when I started teaching, like I really just wanted to share with people what had helped me. And obviously coming from a dance background, like the way that I teach is like very rhythmic. It's very kind of like
Yeah.
traditional way of moving. And I think people kind of like that and resonate with that. It's fun.
Yeah.
Just, I don't know. I've done a lot of trainings now, tantric trainings. I teach Pilates, I teach yoga,
So
energy work, like
I would love for you to
all,
do that.
all this stuff that I've learned, and I just want to share it with people so that people can be
You
happy.
should do like an online yoga class. Like I would seriously come.
I
Like
wanted to do
I've
a
been trying
one
to
with
get
her.
more into it
Yeah.
because I just like want to do it more for like meditation.
People got burned out
and-
on that though with COVID. I did a bunch of online with some of my
Yeah.
teachers, and it was like,
But it's just like
It
when
might
you
be
have people on
different.
Twitter that want to do it with you, it's like
Because
you
they
don't really
like
have
you,
a
And
they
it might
like
be
choice.
your
different
hot.
with
It's just 'cause
people
it's-
you know.
So I want her to spiritually fucking guide me to the 50s. Like,
I do teach classes. I don't teach live classes online, but I do have a whole like online library with like hundreds of classes. I wrote like a series of books that's on there. Like I have like a ton of stuff on my website.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm
She
gonna
designed
like,
yoga
definitely
class.
take your yoga shit because we want to get more into it. Just because
Yeah.
like we're trying to stop drinking and partying as much.
Trying to be
And-
as healthy as we can.
yeah, it's just
I think honestly, I think that yoga is really a great thing for like recovering addicts and people that have been that are like kind of drawn to that lifestyle. Not saying like you're an addict or anything like that, but obviously like people that like that appeals to them.
right.
Because I think that yoga, it makes you feel really good. And like for a lot of people that enjoy drinking and enjoy partying, like that's the appeal, is that it feels good, it's fun. And so I think that like if you find a yoga teacher, you find a yoga class that you really like, it should make you feel good in those same ways. Give you
Yeah.
that kind of like euphoric feeling.
I love it. Like even just me doing like the basic, because I did like a yoga class in community college, and so when I'm doing it myself, I'll just like walk myself through whatever I feel I need. Like I'm pretty in tune with my body. in general, just from like working out a lot. But it's like I just love it. I love.
Yeah,
There's.
I know.
I've never
You're just having fun.
stretched
You're
and
just
like
having
felt
fun.
worse after.
No, it's so good for you. It's like if your body, if you think of tension in the muscles is like if you were like everything was like wound up in a ball and then you stretch it out and it's like elongating all of the things and allowing energy to move through you.
Yeah.
It feels good.
It's like you hold so much stress and then you just let it go. That's like and like I cannot meditate. I've tried so hard. And it's just like raging ADHD. So it's just like yoga. I'm at least doing something physical, but still like relaxed. It's great. I love it. I really need to get more into it. I do some, but it's more just like stretching. But that's still like a form of yoga, I guess. But
It is.
not
And I
like spiritual.
well, it's kind of like the way that you interact with your body is like a parallel to kind of the way that you show up in the world. And so our ability to be like flexible within ourselves is like important in the way that we interact with others. If we're so rigid and we're so tightly holding on and attached to everything, like
Oh, shit out
we're
again.
suffering for ourselves, right? Like
Yeah.
attachment is at the root of like the majority of our suffering. And so
Yeah. I
even
know.
just letting
Like I knew I was gonna start doing more yoga, but then I was like, talk to a state of Emily. Ooh, look at who likes me. I feel like everybody hates me. And then I'm like, oh, this is just like my answer. It's like my awakening that like, yes, you need to start doing yoga. Maybe I'll take like some classes in Kansas City. I don't know. I just have to get into it. This is I definitely believe everything is very connected. And like I didn't know you were so into yoga. That's so cool. Pictures of you stretching like on my TL. I'm like, wow, that's cool. You obviously work very hard in yoga to achieve those poses. Like,
I want to start sharing more on Twitter of like my work and what I do. It's just kind of like figuring out how to do that, you know?
I feel the same way because like I feel like just the perception I've put out there, it's like people just think I'm stupid. But I actually had a career going for me for a long time that I just kind of stepped aside so I could get married and go to Kansas City. But like I was a trainer since I was 18, like lifting weights, and like I'm big into fitness, and I would love to like incorporate more that into my brand instead of just like, haha, I'm a dumb blonde. Like, cause that's not who I am. It was just like fun on Twitter, but like that's not really who I am. Once people talk to me, they're like, wow, you're actually pretty smart. And I'm like, thanks, I know. I'm a fucking idiot. That's just the brand. But I would love to actually incorporate more of like my knowledge of things into Twitter and share.
Do it. I think that it's important to be kind of like what you want to see in the world, to like be an example of that, you know?
Yeah.
And so if we're in this space and there's so much toxicity and negativity, it's like, are you feeding into that? Or are you feeding into like helping people and contributing something that is like, it might not get you as many likes, it might not get you as much attention, but it's going to be received by the people that really need to receive it and are like open to it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just kind of like stuck in the middle right now. Like Twitter isn't toxic, but it's not super beneficial. I'm just like there. So it's like, let me do something good for the world. I have this platform. I might as well do something with it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay, we're being too loud.
Okay. No, you're fine. No, you're good.
I haven't met no one.
I know.
This is
It's
just
like
really,
but someone was like, the conversation is being picked up on a mic. It's not, I'm not talking about anything bad. I just
Hayden.
No,
think
it's
it
nothing
needs to be
bad.
shared with
Yeah.
everybody.
Gotta catch up on the comments. Sorry.
There was a guy on my Twitter like yesterday and today. He went on like a few of my posts and kind of commented the same thing where he was like, I'm unfollowing women whose only agency is their sexuality. And I'm like, okay, you said that now like 6 times. Like, is there
Sounds like a bitch.
should I help you?
Why do people have such an issue with women wanting to be like sexual?
I think the issue is that they're threatened by like someone who's a woman that's in their power is really what it comes down to for me. Like I'm like, who are you talking to? Like telling me that my only agency is my sexuality. Like, you know absolutely nothing about me. Like, I'm sorry that like you're threatened by like what you see uncomfortable, but you're still here 2 days later announcing to me that you're unfollowing me. So like,
Dumb.
like
A trans girl say that today, where she was like, I'm anybody who only uses their blah blah blah, but I've seen them post like their full body pic, which is at this point they're a chick with a dick, right? And like, I'm like, why? Just don't say shit. If you don't like someone, don't follow them. Like, it's not. You don't have to make an announcement. That was my whole.
It's like you want my attention so bad, you have to announce that you no longer want my attention.
People got. Oh, are you leaving, Hayden? Bye. Hayden. Oh, Hayden. No, maybe he's talking about that. But like, people got bent out of shape because I was trying to point out how when people make fun of people's bodies when you're kids, that's why we are where we at with these like groomers, teachers wanting to like do this whole trans shit. Like, and I was trying to just point that out that like, don't fucking say shit. Like, just fucking don't say shit about people's bodies. And then like, but then of course I got a whole bunch of what about men? What about men? What about men? And I'm like, it wasn't even a female man thing. It was just like, just don't fucking talk about people's bodies.
Yeah.
In that binary way where you're like, because that happened to me growing up, where it was like I got made fun of for I was in middle school. I was a skinny little fucking runt in middle school, and like they'd say roses are red, violets are black. Why is your chest as flat as your back? Like, like
holy shit.
Why would you say shit like? And I know that's just kids being mean, but I was trying to point out that it was those kind of comments. Are similar to the teacher saying, hey, maybe since you don't have big boobs at 16, maybe you're a boy.
Or maybe you don't feel comfortable in your body. You obviously are meant to have a vagina, even though you have a penis. It's like, no, maybe you're
that's
just...
all I was trying to point out.
That's not something to tell a middle schooler.
But people didn't understand that. They were like, they tried to like make it a male or female thing.
Which it doesn't need to be. You're a kid.
And I was just trying to point that out. I'm like, don't, because my point was like, when you say make fun of someone who has small boobs, which people still say shit.
Who cares?
And all of us, we all know who cares. But like, I'm like, people still say that shit, and that's why these fucking trans weirdo teachers are how they are.
Yeah. They keep getting away with it.
And I'm like, maybe we could stop this people. Like,
I have one rule in life. One rule: don't fuck with the kids. Don't fuck with the kids. Why is that so hard for some people to follow?
Yeah.
It's like the one universal rule. Don't
because
fuck with
everyone wants to like mold and I get
and
that.
That's not a teacher's.
But kids don't need to be molded. They just need to be kids.
Well, and like it's hard because I'm not a parent. None of us are parents.
I mean,
we all kind of
know how kids are.
Well, and when you're not a parent, you have observed a million parenting styles, and you have observed all these people, and you're like, okay, maybe I'm not a parent. I don't know exactly, but
you've seen the experiences. It's like we've had the conversation. It's like just because Disneyland is what Disneyland is, doesn't mean we're not going to take our kids there.
Yeah, I'm not taking my kids. I don't care if they're groomers.
I don't care.
It's my responsibility to like not have my kids.
Like we're riding a fucking roller
coaster.
Exactly.
My kid is not going to go on Indiana Jones and be groomed. Like it's a parent's responsibility to make sure that their kids are not getting groomed. Like just because you go to Disneyland, going on Indiana Jones isn't going to make you groomed. You know, like everyone just wants to blow everything out of proportion, and it's just like,
what's the real percentage of employees at Disneyland that are actually
it's just like the
teachers
teachers
or rapists or pedophiles?
It's just like teachers.
I guarantee a good 95%.
Most of them are still good, but a lot of the small majority that you're seeing is
and
bad.
Guess what? And they're groomers because they were abused.
Yeah.
Right.
So let's get on top of
like
that.
A lot of those libs of TikTok teachers
because
probably like grew up being hated.
Yeah. I have a friend. I found out he lives in a beautiful ranch. His grandparents lived there too. His grandpa was fucking fiddling him and his siblings.
Yeah.
And they were conservative. They were like,
it happens.
I'm like, this
everywhere.
is what we need to focus on is that shit to stop the cycle.
Here's the thing: grooming, fiddling, pedophilia. That stuff doesn't know party. It doesn't know race.
It's
it doesn't know.
It
doesn't know gender.
It's a lot of conservative that probably grew up.
Honestly,
that's the whole religious aspect of it.
I made a post and I was like, all the groomer teachers of today were probably fiddled by a conservative abuser back in or someone who claimed to be a conservative or whatever. But like, that's what, and then people get mad when you talk about that, though. They get mad when you're like, listen, let's talk about the actual problem. Like, And the priest, like maybe half these fucking groomer teachers came from the fucking Catholic Church when all that shit was
Yeah.
going on. You
Well,
know,
it's like the
Yeah.
Catholic Church. They have their
Well,
own.
it's like the pendulum always swings in both directions, right? So it's like this weird kind of like need to overexpress sexuality like comes from like this need to like repress it in this crazy way.
exactly.
You
Right.
know?
And that's why I understand why people get mad at me sometimes too, or like not mad, but they're like, because when I'm being everything in my sexual life, I had a little bit of weird shit, but everything's been organic, everything's been natural.
Yeah.
This is just who I am.
But at the same time,
there
Some
are
people
people,
are just sexual.
but there
you
are
a
people
consenting
who,
adult.
but there
Yeah.
are people who act out, and it's
right.
hypersexual or whatever you want to call it, because something happened, and like because they're not right in their head, or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
like there was an
Yeah.
issue.
But then it's like
Something
those
happened
people
to
also
someone.
ruin it. Like I had people on Twitter like coming at me like, oh well, obviously you and Noah are like non-monogamous because you had childhood trauma. And I'm like, no, we're just horny motherfuckers and we love to
Right.
watch each other fuck other people. Like we don't have childhood trauma that makes it. It's just like what we enjoy. We're just sexual people.
We're
It
just
doesn't mean that we're
over-sexual
like
people. Not
fucked up in the
over.
head. It's
Yeah,
just
we're
something
not
we enjoy.
over-sexual.
We're not polyamorous. It's not fucking up our relationship.
can't even
We just
explain it
like
to
to,
people.
yeah.
Well,
And they
you
just
can
think
explain
it's
it
like,
to
oh,
people that don't
you
wanna
have so
use it.
much trauma
Yeah.
to be like that. And
I
I'm like,
was on
no,
I
like,
was
don't
on a
just
Twitter
be like
space.
this.
I was on a Twitter space, and this girl was talking about how she was cheating on her husband, and then like non-monogamy came up, and she got judgy.
Here's the thing. Are people more open to cheating than
Then
they
there
are
are
just
non-monogamy.
exploring
Yeah.
It's
the
really
potential?
weird.
Yeah.
And me and Noah
My
are
whole
not
thing
even like poly. Like if he wants to do something with the girl, like I want him to tell me about it
Yeah.
because it turns me on. And I'm like, sure, tell me all
But
about
you
it.
can't even
Yeah.
explain
But they
it
don't
to
get that.
people.
Yeah.
My
They
whole
just-
thing,
they don't wanna
so this is my
understand.
whole thing. Because of over the last 5 years or so, the whole poly purple hair people came out, and they're
Right.
like, "You have to accept us," blah blah. And my whole thing
Right.
is like, let's make it secret again.
Well,
Let's
and
make
yeah,
it
I
if
don't
you
think
want to
you
be
have to
poly and
accept
date or
us.
marry other people,
But that's the thing is like I feel like on the internet you can always find this caricature of like the bad example. Like even with like spirituality, yoga, astrology, like all these kinds of things, it's like it's so easy to look and say like, look at this like this caricature of this thing and it's so stupid and it's like embarrassing or it's like a bad representation of that thing when it's like that's
Will
actually
and
Yeah,
Jada.
exactly. Oh my god, that's what I was saying. I was like, so all of a sudden, because Will and Jada had a toxic relationship, means that like open
And guess what?
relationships never work for people.
And guess what? Before Jada and them are open, he cheated on her a million
Exactly.
fucking times.
It's like you
No
only
one's
care
mad
about Jada doing the cheating because she's the woman.
Yeah.
Will was also
Why
probably
don't
fucking
you-
hella
yeah.
bitches.
Will,
He's Will
I
fucking Smith.
guarantee
Are you
you-
kidding
Here's
me?
you guys.
of I Am Legend, he was fucking that bitch that was in there.
Yeah.
Bro, Will
Exactly.
Smith, I would have done prime Will Smith.
Yeah, who would
Yeah.
have? And it's like obviously he just probably didn't talk about it. And then Jada got on her little
And it was
red
a time
fucking
when they
Well,
circle
it
table
goes
and,
back
you
to
know.
always finding a way to blame the woman.
Yeah, it's like people just think like now I'm like
It was,
somehow
it
have
was her
Noah
fault. He
lashes.
Yeah.
slashed him.
Well,
And I'm
Right,
like,
and it was like all
yeah.
my idea
Well,
because
it's
I'm the
just like
woman, and it's like me and
everyone
Noah like
thinks-
being
yeah.
like this. It's not the woman or the man. It's just how we are. We're
Yeah.
just like horny
We're
motherfuckers.
just sexual people.
We just like to have fun. Cheers.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to duck out here in a second, so just let you know.
are you guys okay with pizza in a minute?
Mhm.
Sure.
What's your favorite type?
I like chicken on pizza. I don't like typical pizza.
Do
We're
you
both like
thin
that's
or
like
regular crust.
that's I don't know. Regular's fine.
Regular's fine.
We don't like pepperoni. Like we don't like
We
classic
don't like
pizza.
traditional.
We like pizza with like barbecue chicken
sauce,
and like
chicken.
sausage is good. Definitely
not-
pineapple on pizza for sure.
I know my Italian name.
With my side.
That's what a Hex. Feel the room and write a song. It's a challenge. I like that. And that was sent at 4:20.
Emily,
so-
thanks for coming on this crazy.
I know you're
stream.
definitely more than welcome anytime you want. Like I need to follow you on Twitter too. I meant to do that.
Do you
but-
not follow her?
No, I told you I got girl shy.
She's so hot.
I get girl shy when I'm like, oh, she's
And
pretty, but I I just feel like a lot of like people don't like me because just a lot of rumors have been spread about me that aren't true, and I just don't know who's heard what. But I like Emily. I think she's cool. I'm
I
glad.
like everybody, and I want to be friends with everybody. Like I don't have problems with people on the internet. I don't understand that.
I know. I try not, but it's just.
And we talk
put
about it
yourself
when you're
in
like
these
you said,
situations.
people were being insufferable lately, like or just like
Oh my god, it's been so bad recently.
Everyone's been so insufferable and miserable.
like that Dubsy guy, which whatever. I'm like, whatever, I'm his friend. That's fine. But he was being so rude to me, and I'm like, you're
Why?
black.
Why did he feel like he needed
I don't
like,
that was my personality. If it was my personality to be mean to people, then I would understand being mean to me back. But like, I'm not like that.
You're genuine and sweet.
I'm mean to like politicians once in a while. But
And the people that need it, the people that need it.
Yeah.
I sort of feel like I have this relationship with like the girls in the Liberty community where like if they don't immediately like follow me or interact with me, like, and I feel that kind of like, I don't know if they like me, whatever. I just kind of let them.
Well, yeah, and then there was also drama between me and one of your friends, and so I was like, oh fuck, this is never gonna.
What?
It's internet drama. It's like if two people don't like.
I don't talk to anyone. Like, I don't talk. I'm not in the group chat. I don't talk to people. Like, what you see of me on Twitter is the extent of me on Twitter. Like, I'm not, I don't do anything else other than that.
I was always like that when I would like throw parties. They'd be like, oh, well, are you inviting someone? And I'm like, yeah. Y'all can fucking either get along or don't. Like, it's not my fucking problem. I like both
I
y'all.
don't have a problem with it. I don't care.
I really don't have a friend. I don't. Onions are fine. I feel like onions. Yeah, I have a problem with no one. And if we have a problem, it's a mutual problem, and now we just aren't friends. And it's nothing personal. We just like don't follow each other.
I have a problem with one person on Twitter, and he can go fuck.
I know who he is. I think he's a fed.
I think he's a fed too.
I'll be honest.
Yeah, hi everyone.
Hi, Dinah. What time is it by you right now?
It's like 12:30. I know.
Okay, it's not too bad.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
What is Austria? Like,
wait, I want to know why you think that, but we can talk about that privately.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, I know. Also, it's like it's not a gossipy thing that I know things because we're actually friends. Like I think people think I'm a gossiper, and there was times where I've gossiped and talked shit, but like me and the person worked it out and realized like we were both being lied to by somebody.
Aren't you?
I'm not a gossiper. I'm not my fucking business. But I do agree he's a fed.
Or something.
I agree.
Or something.
He's definitely something.
Right? And I met him in person.
There's a couple
and I'm like,
people
there's
I'm
something.
suspicious. Did I tell you? I think
He's insane.
We'll talk about that.
There's a couple of people I think are feds,
only because of like what you went through, Emily, and then when I met him, and like what I was told, and then what other people have been told.
I got blocked for no reason, and like if you block me for no reason, I'm like, you're gay. Literally never talked to the man in my life, and I got blocked.
So to pile back to the topic because I wrote like I wanted to say something.
Oh yeah, we were talking about a lot. I'm so sorry.
No, it's cool.
Of many things, and we're slightly tipsy. I'm slightly tipsy. No,
I am a little bit now too.
That's cool, man. No, what I wanted to add about like the entire sexuality thing.
Hayden, tweet me so I can follow you back. Sorry, I don't know who you are.
About the entire sexuality thing.
Yes,
I've had a lot of work colleagues or anything who were being like, "Yeah, women are bitches and everything," and then they would just look at another female in the company and would be like, "I'm trying to hit that." It's so weird. Like I think we have way too many people lying about a lot of things, and the dishonesty is just the problem.
What like lying about what specifically?
Like especially lying about like with the sexuality. Like you have these dudes who are like boys be boys, but I want to have a woman who doesn't cheat on anything. Like, and then they don't talk to the partner. They want to have everything. They want to have the cake and eat it, but we have to understand like we either work things out and talk things through, or act accordingly.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
Noah, why do you think that is as like a guy? And then obviously Liberty Dino, you can answer
Explain,
this too.
like,
But like,
you know
why
I'm
do you
stupid
think that
sometimes.
men want a woman who's like men can have fucked like 40 people, but then when it comes to a wife, they want
I
a
don't
girl who's
have
like
an
a virgin?
I don't have an
Because
honest.
he
answer to that.
knows I'm not a virgin.
Yeah, and
like,
she knows I'm.
he
far
knows my
from
body
that.
count,
Yeah,
and he
she
never.
knows.
But
I'm
I
far
don't
from
get
that
why
too.
men will be like, "Oh, I want a girl who's like a virgin and doesn't have a
I
lot of sexual
don't
experience." Like,
understand.
what is it like an ego thing or just like a person
Well,
wants to have that control
I
over the
think it's
sexual
the
aspect of them?
control over her purity. I think
think
that's
it's-
honestly what it is. It's like I'm the one that took it from you. That makes me your husband, your lover.
I
Yeah,
think like
what
what I actually like observed in my like my opinion is like I don't fucking care what the body count is. My observation was that usually that's there's a good combination of low self-esteem, bad introspect, and it's just like this general thing how they think that the life has to go, and these are the things everybody needs to have and admire. And there's the house and everything, but then you talk to the people and they're full of insecurities, and it makes them believe that they cannot have a good sexual partner. I mean, like if you have an eye-to-eye relationship, that is going to be an emotional challenge.
Yeah,
Like
well, I think insecurities do play a lot into it. How insecure am I about anything?
Not very insecure
At all.
And I mean, I think like maybe just because we're both very like sexually open, but I couldn't imagine if someone had the body count that we both do, which might be 10, might be 100. It doesn't really matter because that's our business.
Y'all
but
don't
like,
even know.
it's like I wouldn't have cared, and he doesn't care because we can still have our own sexual relationship. So I don't understand why like the past matters in terms of
Okay,
it
back
doesn't
to this.
affect like my sexual past doesn't affect our sexual relationship at all.
It goes back to this. Who do you love?
I love you. And Post Malone.
Yeah.
Well, you get the point. You know, it's like, you know,
Penny looks like Post Malone.
like in
He
terms,
does look like him.
I saw Post Malone.
Bitch! You did
That
not.
was 2019.
Oh my god.
I thought you meant like recently.
No, he lived in Utah, and like I wanted to see
got the
him
next
so
best
bad.
thing.
I know, I did. I literally manifested a husband that looked like Post Malone. It's fine. Yeah, I don't know why men get
No,
like,
I think
weird
he's
about that
right.
shit.
I think it's insecurity.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Because it's
worried
like-
that they're not doing good.
Yeah,
As like my sexual past.
yeah.
I'm like,
And
no
it's
one's
like-
the best I ever had. I orgasm every single time.
So
I'm
yeah,
like,
did
I
you
don't
guys
need.
consummate your marriage?
We did many times.
Many times.
Hayden, I'm not done,
Okay,
Hayden. I'm
Hayden,
back.
I followed you back.
I had to well, Hayden, do you want to come on? Hayden, Hayden's my friend out here.
Oh, Hayden, yeah, you should come on.
Hayden, if you want to come on, you can come on. Oh, you did that.
Yeah, because sometimes I don't see all tweets sent to me because Twitter like filters them out. So then I was like, DM me because I
And
don't
you're
know
just
if I'm
shadow
gonna...
banned to shit.
Yeah, I'm
So-
shadow banned now. I don't know what I did.
Thanks everyone for hanging
Just-
out. By
I
the
know you guys
way.
are fun, and if any of the people on the stream want to leave, you're more than welcome. Like Emily and Hex, like if you guys want to go, I like no issues. I feel
No, we're
bad.
having
I
good,
feel like-
honest discussion.
I know. I just feel like bad, like I'm keeping people from like living their best life. But
I mean, I think we're all three pretty entertaining
no, yeah,
people.
I just get insecure still. I'm like, people actually want to talk to me. What?
Dino. How are you? Did you start working? Did you get a job?
oh yeah, the job is fine. It's gonna pay for everything I need to have right now.
Hi, Mom.
Otherwise, I'm trying to keep some sanity together. Like the crime in the city has been going crazy recently. Like not good.
Is it cultural or all
Yeah.
over?
Yes.
Is it that
it
culture
is.
specifically?
Yes.
Oh man, it's like
How is Austria in terms
Middle-
of like
Middle
gun
Eastern
laws?
people are going up there. And
Oh yeah, no gun law.
Oh, I see.
it's a
No,
whole
it's,
nother-
it's still
Done.
no, it's still the hard one. Like if you get attacked, you actually. I was taking a walk earlier, and I had at a moment when but one place I had a bad feeling. Like I think I hurt someone, and then you have to picture yourself defending yourself against a knife or something while you are unarmed.
Yeah, it's
So
so
much fun.
scary.
Can you like remind me of how based of a state I live in? Did she explain to you the gun laws in Missouri?
Is it constitutional fair?
Not just constitutional. We have a whole.
Hayden?
Okay,
It's
you keep
Hayden.
moving.
Hi, Hayden.
Sorry.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hi,
Welcome, Hayden.
We have,
He's super cutie.
we have a whole law in the state of Missouri that prohibits and enforces
Hello.
federal agent that tries to enforce gun laws. You're done. You're done.
Sorry, I don't want to
Sweet.
talk over. I wasn't trying to talk over. No.
No, you're fine. You're just saying hello.
You're fine. How
Hello.
are you, honey? Did you have a good weekend?
No, yeah. Oh, hang on a second. I still have the old stream open. That's what was going on.
Oh, is there a delay? Sorry.
No, everything's good. I was just kind of watching this, flipping back and forth between this and the F1 race. I think my dog's about to win. Max Verstappen. Let's go.
Is that if F1 is that the little
Formula
Miatas?
No.
No. They're the pinnacle of motorsport. These are the big dogs.
Fancy 200-mile.
Hayden, do you know Emily and Dino and Hex?
I follow Emily Hex, and obviously you and Sarah.
What's your Twitter?
Church of Petrol on Twitter. I just went non-anon, and
And I know
it's
Hayden in
better.
real life. I knew him in real life. Like, well, you knew me as Forrest Mommy before I met you in real life, right?
Yeah, I saw your Twitter before we met, and then Andy was just like, "Oh, look who that is over there." I was like, "Oh,
We're
wait,
buds.
she looks familiar."
We're buddies. We're BFFs.
I mean, you're just Forest Mommy. I think that's like
It
you're just Forest Mommy.
It works.
It's like I don't think
It's
anyone-
really
Yeah.
it's really sad that you had to change names because like I feel people still call you that. Like it's just that's like your
I mean,
brand.
I was a huge Terminator fan growing up, so
I know.
I like it, but-
I only changed the Terminator Mom because of that picture, but like everyone I meet, everyone in Colorado through the LP and stuff, they still call me Forrest Mom.
well, yeah. I mean, you're Forest Mommy. You're the original. You know.
I can't believe they fucking moved your account
I know over that.
over there.
What was it?
Because I had here, I'll show you the picture. It was a picture I used before when I very first.
Oh, okay.
It's like, why can there be literal porn on Twitter, but you can't show a nipple in your profile picture? Like, what is that?
Yeah. And it's,
And it was
it's
artistic.
especially weird.
It was artistic.
It was, and it was far away, wasn't it?
Yes.
And the
It's
weird
like
thing
here,
is
I
like
won't
it's
show
a
it
platform
on-
that's
It's like
plus
super
18.
far away.
Is
Wow.
it though? Is Twitter 18 plus?
Well, at least here when I downloaded it, it
It's
says 18
supposed to
plus.
be,
I
isn't it?
can understand why they don't want it in profile pictures because then every dude would put a dick in a profile picture. Let's
Honestly.
face it. Like, so I get that, but that same exact picture I used when I first started Forest Mommy, and they didn't care at that point. And then
It's
they
just
did.
because you blew up and disagreed with the Twitter.
Well,
thought.
I think I got
Yeah.
responded. It
Yeah.
was so that same day was when that Stacy, that weirdo Stacy girl, she doxed Clint and all them,
Oh
and,
god.
and I think she reported me as well because I said something about
Taliban
it.
Clint
What?
or a different Clint?
Which one?
Which
Let
one?
me-
Oh, okay, that Clint. Okay.
And so this girl named this crazy drunk, who's a drunk. Let's face it, she might be watching. Whatever. She was a drunk.
Why would you be watching?
She her
Hate
and that
things.
Pete Quinones, they both cheated and like broke up both their marriages. And then she was just this like mean drunk online all the time. And then she doxed Clint. And that's like was literally the next day is when I lost my account. So I think she like
Reported you or something?
yeah. Whatever. She's old and ugly, so whatever.
She followed me once.
She was weird. Like we followed each other for a while.
I
She was-
love how I knew who you were talking about. even though
She
I
like
didn't
would
want to.
message me this weird shit all the
Yeah.
time, and then I'm like, then she would say, "Oh, I drink every night," and then I'm like, "Yeah, and you're a bitch every night."
Right,
So-
maybe you shouldn't drink then if you.
Sometimes, like when I think about Twitter, I'm like, what have I gotten myself into where I'm like, who's a fed? And like talking about my friends that are like doomsday prepping. And I'm like, where am I? Like, what am I?
No. That's why it's kind of fun to be somewhat anon because because I haven't been on Facebook for a couple years now, and like Facebook's where I got doxxed because they know all your information, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm not anonymous at all on Twitter. Like, sometimes I do wish I was more anonymous.
I sometimes regret like having so many like things out there, but
though.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was super anon.
But I'm
in
not
my-
doing anything
Oh, yeah,
bad. Like I'm not doing anything that I feel like I need to be anonymous for. Like
Oh yeah, I will never be anonymous again. I mean, I put my titties out there for everyone to see. I was making bank off of it. At the end of the day, it's like I don't have a life where I'm worried about it affecting a job. Like I just want to bartend or do something. I don't want to have like a career corporate job. Like,
well,
Yeah,
I
it's
work for
annoying.
myself. Like I don't know. It is what it is. I've always been myself online.
I've heard.
I mean, like
I'm
I
more
will
worried about people
never.
hearing my political views than seeing my tits, to be honest. Because they'll see my tits and they're like, "Damn, she's hot. We should hire her." But they'll see that I fucking took a picture with Hitler the other day, and they'll be like, "Oh fuck!"
As a joke.
As a joke.
It was his birthday. That's the appropriate thing to do on his birthday.
What?
I posted
yeah, you
a
got married
picture
on
with
his
Hitler.
birthday.
Yeah, and we got married on Hitler's
Oh
birthday.
my word.
Yeah, I posted a picture with Hitler on his birthday, and I captioned it, "Hitler was bad," as a joke. Because on the live stream I do with Hannah, we were talking about how things could be taken out of context. And I had said on that live stream, out of context, "Happy birthday, Hitler." And then she was talking about how someone posted a picture that she knew with a cardboard cutout of Donald Trump, and they didn't get a job. And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm going to post this picture I took with Hitler at the fucking sex museum I was at earlier. And I posted it and I captioned it, "Hitler was bad." And it was funny. And you know what? If I'm not going to get a job one day for posting a picture with Hitler, I don't want to work for you
Who
anymore.
cares?
It was funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean,
Hitler is bad. Am I wrong?
What? No. Like, I mean, I wouldn't be around with around with him or without him.
He's
Yeah, I don't
German
think I
and Jew.
vibes
so.
with Hitler. Like Dr. Fauci's like the modern day Hitler, and like I am not on the Fauci vibe, so
Well, the
therefore
whole
I would not have been on the
Operation
Hitler
Paper-
vibe.
That might get you taken
The
off
whole
Twitter.
American government is fucking
That is
Well,
true.
Literally.
I actually dated a German guy for a while, and his perception of Hitler was very different from what I've always known and taught. And I actually love to talk to him about these types of things because he had a very
Yeah.
interesting perspective on everything that's going on in the world now. And just so much of what we've been taught about history is like not true.
It's such a lie. I like learned about the legit slave trade. I was listening to the Forsaken Podcasters podcast once, and he had someone on that like was black and would talk about like the actual African American history and shit. And like I learned so much about the slave trade that I did not know. I was like, I did not learn this in school.
Do you listen to Hardcore History with Dan Carlin?
I'll go get it from the car.
Okay, can you do that?
I'll go get it from the car.
No, you're good.
She doesn't like my cinnamon gum.
I opened it.
Cinnamon gum?
I'm a
Yeah.
cinnamon girl.
I need
Feel bad.
mint. I'm trying to get it out of the car. My
Sarah.
It's a Young song, or it's a Neil Young song or something. But
Sarah, do you listen to Hardcore History with Dan Carlin?
I haven't. I've been told to listen to that podcast. I just haven't really been I've been very busy recently. I haven't really been listening to many podcasts.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to listen to that probably on the road trip back to Kansas City. We will play some Hardcore History.
I think the most recent one, and it may be a Blitz episode, which is like a shorter thing. It's not like, like Supernova in the Pacific, like long thing, was on the slave trade. And it was like a 5-hour podcast. It was super,
Wow,
super
yeah, I'd love to
interesting.
listen to that. It's just so interesting, like what they don't teach you in public school.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved his whole intro to it. He's like, everyone told me that this is a podcast I shouldn't do.
Yeah, I just think it's like, I'm not saying that it makes the slave trade any better when you talk about what actually happened, but like, just the way that I grew up learning it, it was like white people were kidnapping black people just because they were black. And there was just like so much more to it than.
Dan Carlin, is that who did it?
Yeah. There was so much more to it than that. It was like most of the black slaves are being sold by other black people to the United States. Every country had slaves from a bunch of different countries. Like it was not just like a black versus white thing at the time. And I do think that because I think it turned into racism, but I don't think that it started off being a racist thing. That's just my opinion. I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but
I mean,
that's
could
how
you,
the world was back then, and it's shitty, but it's the truth,
I mean, you could also make like the argument about the European history because we didn't have slaves and this kind of things. We've had the landlord situation where, I mean, there was this war where people were trying to become Protestant because when they were just being Protestant, they could actually choose who they would marry without the landlord agreeing or disagreeing.
Yeah.
And with the Catholics, like it was, the landlord had to say yes, and they kind of decided. Could kind of decide like who you would get married to, and I would say like we're forgetting the part where we in Europe we had a bad history here of like kind of being slaves.
Yeah, didn't Europeans like own slaves and also were like everybody was, you know? And it's just like I didn't grow up learning that version in school.
I think you don't understand the whole secession aspect of it either.
Oh, I still know
Until
nothing
we
about
were-
the Abraham Lincoln thing. I do not know anything about the Emancipation Proclamation. Like I don't know anything
I
about
saw a tweet today that was like,
history
"Whoa,
of that. So.
people think it's all about secession," and I'm like, "Whoa, yeah,
Right.
that's kind of what we're trying. Like, what if you didn't like slaves, wouldn't you have wanted them, the people who were doing it, to succeed? You know, like
Yeah,
that
but
whole
the
aspect of
actual like Civil
Can I
War
have
was
some ramen
over.
cinnamon bun? Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I love cinnamon.
Me too.
Hi, Doggy! Oh, can I hang out with you? I miss my dog so much.
He's like a Floyd. How old is Floyd?
He's a
Floyd is
Yeah,
15.
he's like a brown
So
Floyd.
he's like 11. He's weird.
Alright.
Show dog. Oh, there he goes.
Go, dog. Yeah. I'm gonna be your mommy.
Oh, there he is.
You are literally the size of Floyd, and I miss my dog so much, but I was not responsible to bring him. He is so much happier back in California, so that's where he's gonna stay.
Is that Martini and Rossi in your martini glass?
It is Prosecco and orange juice.
Martini and Rossi makes Prosecco.
Shane, why did you say why are y'all repping socialists?
It's La Marca.
Well, y'all repping
Who's repping socialists? Not me.
Who was?
Who's repping socialist? Hitler?
Oh, Lamarca. There you go.
Hitler? Hitler was a socialist, wasn't he?
Oh, I know what I was going to ask. Emily, did your German boyfriend talk about the Autobahn? I hate to just bring it back to this.
Autobahn?
Yeah, because you were saying like he had a different opinion than like a lot of people. Was he like, actually, there was some quite good aspects.
Do you want me to open that whole can of worms?
No. You don't have to open the whole can of worms. I was just, I like cars and racing and stuff. So my favorite racetrack is in
We
Germany.
didn't talk about that much. Like he did like cars. Like he was a Mercedes guy, but like.
Oh, God.
Well,
I guess I just didn't know if he was.
Oh,
if
he
was
tuned
into
in and
the
we
road system.
Like,
Hayden,
he was
Hayden, if-
an interesting one because he was very, like very tapped into like everything that's going on against the vaccines, against like all at just the whole like kind of new world order agenda. But he had like a very like he'd gone very deep down the rabbit hole of like what just everything that's like been like psyoped over the past like several decades. He was an interesting one.
That's good. That's refreshing from our European friends, right? Liberty Dino.
But I mean, like you're an exception when you think like that. The rest is just going along with everything. Like, And also, like, if you ever want to enjoy the Autobahn, don't go. I mean, most of it is like it's kind of falling apart, and you have very limited areas where you actually can speed through, just because of all of the construction work being done.
I'm so happy with you.
I just need to drive. All I need to do, as far as driving on the public roads, is getting from Frankfurt to the Nürburgring, and then I'm in my happy place. So
Yeah, that's probably worth it, man.
yeah. No, I was actually invited with a group this year, but I didn't quite. I saw the amount. I was like, yeah, probably, because it was like it's all inclusive except for flights, so it looks like a big old number because it's like car rentals and insurance and all that. So I was like,
Yeah, that's very expensive.
and it's and the trip was actually not just to the Nürburgring, but Spa-Francorchamps as well.
What you get on it?
In Belgium.
Period.
Oh my God.
I mean, I've never been there, but I also am not a driver yet because I couldn't afford the license and a car.
Dude, it's crazy. It's crazy in Germany, man. I know. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about this. It's like it's hard.
Yeah,
You gotta be well off to drive.
Yeah, especially with the new gasoline prices. Like I think we're at $9 per gallon.
Yo, what's going on with the natural gas prices though?
Oh God, please don't.
No, I'm wondering, man, because
it's all going up.
Yeah,
I mean, there's grip politics here and the entire energy independence and everything. It's just bad.
Wait, what happened with the French election? Did Macron win again?
Yeah, I think he won.
I think he's slated to.
Yeah. I mean, Europe really wants to fall on its nose, and they will. We are living through it right now.
I mean, my dad's from Spain.
But do you think, like, people in Europe, like, for the most part, they're happy to follow along with everything that's going on, right?
Yeah, they keep telling themselves everything is fine. Like, you could bring up let's go for the crime stuff and everything where we have like these crazy things happening, and you talk to people and they're like, no, it's fine. It's not like we're in a civil war. And then if you talk to people who live in civil wars, they're like, yeah, you have your everyday life still. You gotta go to work, and there's gonna be some normal stuff happening. And I wouldn't say like it's that bad yet, but
Getting there. It's like getting there.
Yeah, definitely. I don't see any other thing happening. It's like every year things just get worse and worse.
Queen, because I miss Floyd.
Oh, he's a little snazzy.
He's a brat. Let me grab him.
Oh,
It's kind of like that's like an everywhere thing right now.
Yeah.
You're better.
Oh, absolutely. I just think like in some other places you still have some.
Oh, now they got all rain.
And they like to just to make the right amount of money to prepare to be ready for such a situation. That's going to be very hard here. And the community spirit it's bad. We have some liberty movement, but there are there's basically no effort to actually move together or like be physically around each other. Everybody just keeps a little bit to themselves, and it's there's nothing really happening.
But isn't it kind of hard to form communities when like so many people, like such a majority, are just like fully on the train of everything that we're concerned about,
Yeah, but you can do some things. Like I've been around in the spiritual group, and they've been buying land for a long time now, and there's some projects which they are working on. And sure, you have to rethink. Like if you go for like, okay, we want to have a community, everybody's going to have their own house. That's probably not going to be a thing. But if you get the right amount of people together who just buy something together, do the reparations or like anything on the house, like you could still have something. And do a little bit of farming, or like around where I live. There's just right across the river. There's this village where everybody starts to farm and everything. Like a little bit of that is happening, but you have to go get into it. But from the libertarian standpoint, we just don't have it.
Yeah, which is always depressing. Being in if you're Austrian or living in Austria, you're like, this is the economics place. we have me and I think Forest Mommy knows him. We have an Austrian friend here that is with does the Libertarian Party stuff with us, but we always get to talk about this stuff with him.
Which one? What's his name?
Reinhardt?
Oh, I love Reinhardt so much.
Yeah, he's cool.
He's so cool. He's so fun. Yeah,
he showed up to that picnic where I met you, and he just had his own steak and like a couple vegetables, and he was just like,
nice.
He was just like, is there still charcoal left for the grill? went over and just started cooking.
Whenever Anthony's in town, he stays with Reinhardt, and Reinhardt he's the most interesting motherfucker ever. Like he's just like. He's building his body, and he's hilarious. But yeah, I think I've told you, Liberty. He's from Linz, I think.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, literally the same place where I live right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He's been in America for over 20 years, I believe, because he was in California for a while and all that. But he's so fun to talk to.
Yeah, many people live. I mean, the sad part is like it's to figure out like how to live and then connect with people. Like you obviously cannot talk about politics too much. With some people you can, but it's weird. Like I'm actually a natural extrovert, but I've been introverted for a long time now.
Well, that post you made the other day about like we're forced to be a little bit like because I'm the same. I was just talking. I'm like I've always been an introvert, but I would choose my extroverted things, but they fucked it up for 2 years now, and now
Yeah.
everything's just weird. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever
It's-
taken the Jordan Peterson personality test?
No, I've read
Yeah,
his
dude.
book. I read 6 of his rules of his first 12 rules for life. Loved
Nice.
it, but never took his personality test. No.
It's well worth the $10. And actually, there's a
costs
couples
$10?
there's a couples comparison option as well. Sarah and Noah.
Oh yeah.
If you're curious.
Might just do it then.
Is his,
No, it's good, but I scored 94 because I was going to ask what you scored, but I'm apparently 94th percentile extroverted. So I'm
if
pretty-
and
I'm
if anyone's
extremely
watching,
high.
Hayden is single and looking for, or not necessarily looking, but if it happens.
Hayden is single and ready to mingle.
Hayden works 6 days a week, and stupid hours.
Weird
so,
hours too.
Yeah.
But I love Hayden. I've met Hayden in real life. I vouch for him 100% in the world.
Hayden, how old are you? What do you do? Tell us the details.
I'm 31, and right now I have a couple jobs. I'm split between kind of working on a tech startup and doing something that pays the bills.
Okay. Cool.
Open up.
Me and a couple mutual friends of Forest Mommies have a little a crypto Web3 thing that we're starting up. We
they're like,
mentioned it way earlier in the pod. Way earlier.
you wanna like? Can you guys like talk? Can you talk about it?
Sure, we'll talk about whatever you
Yeah,
want. Yeah.
Talk about it.
Crypto.
Right.
Talk about
I'm
it.
down to learn about
I
crypto
got
if it'll
them.
help make us rich.
No, it's really interesting. It really is. Let's do
It's where you want to be, I think, as far as investing, Noah. Bonds are trash because of the the interest rates, and the stock market is kind of waning. I mean, gold has outperformed the S&P for the last year, so crypto is good. But yeah, no, it's a Web3 social media project. We're trying to make immutable social media on the blockchain, and something that's truly decentralized. Because what people don't realize about like something like a Getter or even a Gab is they're still like centralized in a lot of like servers. Like they still utilize like Amazon Web Services, Google
I
Cloud.
use that too.
Yeah, and it's not that it's bad. It's just that we have like a new structure for these kind of things that we're trying to build.
Well, like,
so.
I'm actually retarded when it comes to like technology.
Yeah, same.
I just think it's because I'm like an old
fuck.
soul, and like all of my knowledge is just like to be anti like the current day shit that they're trying to push on you, and so it's just like I'm fucking retarded when it comes to like anything internet related. Like I can barely figure out how to live stream.
I would say this to you. There's a lot of really concerning aspects about crypto and the tools that it presents to like powerful people that really control currency and control move the levers of society. So like stuff like central bank digital currencies, like that's scary. Like that's the World Economic Forum. That stuff. Resist
I
that.
have one question about crypto.
Yeah.
I am under the impression like if the grid for whatever reason were ever to go down, everything you've made in crypto, whether it be millions or dollars,
the bank.
Well, the bank wouldn't matter.
Cash,
but wouldn't investing in like hard assets like gold, silver?
No. To be honest, I think if shit hits the fan, you need to have ammo and
I'm selling pussy.
literally pussy and canned food. That's what's gonna get you through the apocalypse. You trade them for canned food, etc. Some flour, like you need actual survivable shit. I think
your ammunition is going to be worth more than gold.
Exactly.
Yeah, it is.
Invest in fucking ammo if you're worried about the end of the day.
So,
though another thing you got to invest to is like trade skills will definitely be worth it too.
Yeah.
That's why I married him. He's just my end of the world buddy.
You need someone who can like fix cars and shit. Hayden,
can I answer Noah's question?
Oh, you want to answer a question? And then
No, because he basically asked like, what if all the power goes out? What if the grid goes down? Okay, so yes, that's concern. So there's actually a difference between like the crypto world, like smart contracts, and like Bitcoin. because Bitcoin is like very, very highly decentralized, which means there's tens, if not hundreds of thousands of different people running that are powering the network around the world. So literally you would have to have like an EMP from space or something, and it shuts everything off real quick, and it all goes down at once in order for the network to go down.
Like,
if parts of the world go down, the rest of the network can
what
adjust.
parts of the
how
world
would
are
you
going to go
access?
down?
Well, the part that's affected with the grid shutdown. But my question is like, say America were to get shut down and we invested in crypto, would our crypto assets essentially be unusable because we don't have access to the grid? Well,
It's so you're talking just locally, just America.
Like, say the grid for whatever reason
Well,
shut
yeah,
down
just
in
America. Because what are we going to do? Trade with people in Europe unless they make it here on a boat, or
Well,
we
that's
make
what
it
I'm
there on a
saying.
boat. You know,
So our
Yeah.
crypto assets would be inherently useless.
except for people in Canada or Mexico,
But
or people who could actually
ours-
get here physically.
Yeah, if it's useless to
We
you,
would not have access to it.
if you can't use it, if you can't access it, yeah, that's a problem for sure. My contention though is that I think even if like large grids go down, like the U.S., like or all of the U.S. or all of Europe or whatever, we have big and especially if there's a global grid shutdown, we have way bigger problems. That's basically the end of the world.
That's what
if it goes.
In that situation, crypto doesn't matter. Like, you have ammo, canned food, you have some tangible things that you could trade with people to survive. Like, you know, you can't. The money situation doesn't matter, because in that situation, we're trading canned food for ammo. We're not trading anything else.
Cities devolve into chaos. Nuclear power plants, at least in the way that they're currently set up, like the old like marine type reactors, will melt down because there's not enough battery. It's the end of the world, basically.
I mean, at that point, I'm just gonna fucking do a shit ton of heroin until I die.
That's not a bad way to go out, because when people from cities start going out into the country, and then they're like, well, I have this AR, but I never really used it, and they're like, let me go find a deer to eat. They're gonna be shooting each other everywhere. There was actually there was a History Channel series. I'll have to Google it real quick, but there was a History Channel series that was like different apocalypse scenarios. And an EMP, dude. Watch that one though, because it was the most. It was the most.
Ran out of oil.
It was the most terrifying of all of them, because like society is immediately collapsed.
We are so electronically centralized that if an EMP were to happen,
What's that?
and I would say
people are fine.
EMP were to happen, that's all it would take.
Yeah. Oh, this is what we are actually facing.
Do you have like first aid skills? Do you have antibiotics?
I even bought a Brock for my birthday or for Christmas. He got me an AED. I have an AED.
Yes, I want to learn how to do like basic like.
That's because I do drugs. Hey, one day, Hayden.
Basic trauma certified.
I think it was 10 ways the world will end, I believe.
Yeah.
Hayden.
Yes.
The thing you guys are working on is a type of Bitcoin, right?
No, it is not. It works on the same principles. So it works on like, you know, a decentralized ledger, like, you know.
Is it a coin or is it like a?
Yeah, it's going to be a coin, and the way that it's going to work, it's called Fora, FORA. The way that it's going to work is it's going to be it's built on a larger smart contract platform called Solana. If you're into crypto, you probably know of it. It's you know, one of the bigger ones, but every action that you make on the network is a transaction, is like a crypto transaction. So actually, like if you follow somebody, that's a transaction. If you comment, et cetera, and Fora is going to be the currency for that. And what we're trying to do is change the incentives for of Web2 social media. So for example, you'll see a leaderboard of the most popular posts, and they will get paid out, you know, they'll get paid out in tokens, you know, based on their performance.
Hayden
and stuff.
had said something a couple minutes ago that like was really smart, but I wanted to go more in detail on. When I heard it, he said just one AR. Here's my thing with end of the world. Get good with one rifle, one pistol, and your kit, and don't spend $1,500 to $2,000 on 12 different rifles. Instead, invest that money in like ammo, canned food, You don't need 18 different guns. Oh, I love that. You
and
don't
also,
18 different guns.
and
Get
then also
one
like
rifle. Go ahead.
sorry, and also like other tools where you can start a fire or something like this.
Fire starters. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Water-
AED.
Water filtration systems. Hey,
Yeah.
AED, first aid.
I want that to
Yeah.
you're doing drugs. And
I think like your basic skills too.
Yeah.
I mean, most people just don't have any idea. I watched a video of this dude try to pour gasoline on a fire out back.
Oh, from a
And-
can.
And yeah, from the can,
Oh my
which you know what's
God.
going to happen. And it's so funny because when I was like, I mean, I grew up in the country in Pennsylvania, and we weren't far from like a big city, but it was pretty rural. Like kids that like went from the city, like they thought we were a bunch of like farming
Yeah.
hicks.
Pyro.
And they and yeah, so we would have like
I'm
bonfires all the time. And I knew, and like from a young age, I knew like, hey, pour a little, if you need to like stoke this a little bit, pour a little bit in a cup, toss it, toss the cup. Like
We always played a game. We would get a styrofoam cup, and who could toss the furthest cup? That was all we would play.
Sweet.
So yeah, it was funny to me. And I just think that's a microcosm of like the kind of thing you're talking about where like people never hunted in their lives or like bringing their home defense weapons. Just like,
Yeah.
I got to find something to eat.
No.
Yeah, or like edible plants and everything, and then the other thing is going to be the entire new mental situation they will be facing, because like all of the image work, all of these plastic lives, they won't matter at that point.
Well, none of everything, I would say a good 95% of what we use in our daily lives will be inherently useless in the end of the world, or in a total collapse. Maybe not end of the world, but total collapse. It'll all be inherently useless.
not my pussy.
But
That's my plan for the apocalypse. Like no matter where I fucking
No,
live,
but
when
you
it
know
happens-
what's funny is like
no,
my
Sarah,
thing
Sarah.
is if the end of the world happens in the next 5 years, like I am good to bear children,
Yeah.
and that's what I am bringing to the world. So
Yeah.
as long as it happens soon, I'm good. But if it happens when I'm like 40, it's like, nah, my eggs ain't shit at that point. But I am bringing something, you know?
Are you saying my eggs ain't
But-
shit?
No,
but
your
here-
eggs are probably still
Oh,
fine.
shit.
I don't know.
They
Like,
are
Just
still
like-
for sale if
Actually,
anyone
it's
wants to buy
I know,
them.
Here's like the perfect plan
My
for
eggs are
a
good, and
revenge
I
history.
would be a great mom.
You
Okay.
know
You
Emily needs
would.
to have a baby. for
yeah,
sure.
she will soon. Like, it's gonna happen so fast. Like with me and Noah, it was literally like within 3 months, and that's how it's gonna be for you. Like, you're just gonna know when you know, and then suddenly you'll be pregnant, and that's it. I don't even worry about you at all. You'll be fine.
But
And she's
now-
super healthy.
And
from
she's
yoga.
very healthy. She'll probably have
Yoga.
kids till she's like
Yeah.
50,
I
60.
just
maybe.
want one. I just want one.
Yeah.
But hear me out on the perfect plan for the revenge fantasy. Like, so everything collapses. Nobody's going to want to hire the people in the tax office, but then you do a brothel, which you call the tax office, and that's basically the plan.
What's the plan?
Oh no! Like my plan for the
Plan
apocalypse
is-
as a revenge thing is like hire the people from the tax office because nobody wants to hire them. Make a brothel with them and go like, you want to fuck the tax office?
I
Here
would
you
make
go.
such a good madame at a brothel. Like, it's not even fucking funny. Like, that's like what I should do. in
What do you
life.
do at a brothel? You just like are the cute girl that's like ready and fight.
It's like a classy strip club with sex.
There.
I love that. I should
Yeah.
work there now.
I think they bring out a lineup and they're like,
Yeah, you're like,
who do you
want?
like?
And I'm so like good at picking like who's good. So like I'll have a good lineup,
Be like, look,
Wanna make
Michelle is totally your vibe. I
Who?
just know it. I
Who
said
is?
Michelle is totally your vibe.
Who's Michelle?
I don't know, some
Nobody.
hooker.
Oh, like you're saying I'm saying that. Yeah, like
Yes,
well that's the thing. I would know them, so I would know like who's best for who,
exactly.
because
Kitty.
I'm good at that shit.
Big old kitty.
Big old kitty.
He's so
I used to
big.
have a Maine Coon. I can tell you all about big old kitties
He's a big old kitty for sure.
for sure.
I
Huge.
don't have cats.
Sarah's my cat Sarah is so
You have a
small.
cat named Sarah?
Yeah,
Oh.
but no
She's
age.
named after you.
No
Oh,
age.
it's
No,
named
because
after
there's
me.
no age.
She's like, no.
And if you guys follow Nina on Twitter, she has a teeny little kid behind her. She has the teeniest kitty, and I took care of it the other day. It was
I miss Floyd. Mom, if you're still watching, send Floyd pics, please. I need like at least a Floyd pic a day. I feel so bad I had to leave my dog, but you know
Yeah,
what?
it's best
He's
for
he's
them.
happier. He's so old.
you don't
like-
want to stress them out.
It's
Yeah.
hard to move an animal when they're really old. It's
Yeah,
a
but I just know he's happier there. He has his dog sisters. My mom will take great care of him. We don't have the finances to
And
support an
there's
old
two
dog.
other dogs there.
There's two, and yeah, he's only known being around other dogs, and like we would
Yeah.
just have to bring him to a basement by himself. That's not fair.
And
And
until
he's
we can get
older.
the yard,
He's
until we can get the yard
15?
done.
Yeah, he's 15.
And you guys have him since he was a puppy.
Yeah. So but he's happy. I'm glad that he's happy.
Guys, I think I'm gonna hop off. It's a little bit late now. We gotta
Okay.
work
It is
tomorrow.
quite late where you are.
Yeah.
I always
Nice
love
putting a
hearing you.
face to a name.
Bye, honey.
Okay, bye. Have
Later,
fun.
man. Good talking to you.
Peace.
And welcome back, Mr. Hex.
Lloyd.
Yo.
Lloyd.
Yo, your video, your picture's mad small.
I know this fucking camera.
Uh,
How many shots did you take?
yeah,
Okay.
y'all are getting lit.
I'd be
You know what, dude?
vomiting by this point.
I've been like sipping mine.
So yeah, in
lately.
total, we've probably only done like it depends who you are. We've
Hayden,
done like
you can
4
come over
because we do
tonight if
half
you
shots.
want. You want to come over tonight and party? Or do you,
You
work?
live pretty far. You live pretty far from me, but send me a
Not
text.
really.
I'll think about it.
It's on the highway. It's not far off the
Quincy might
highway.
come over. I want Quincy to come over. I really
Yeah,
wanna meet
he's
him.
been here before.
I want to meet
I
Quincy
know.
too. I, love
I
Quincy.
feel bad because he called me and I don't have his number saved. But I know when he texts me because like I have his
Tell him
contact.
I'll text him too.
Yeah,
And you guys might be here all day tomorrow too.
we honestly might. We
Honestly,
might
at
even
this
either
point-
way,
Tomorrow,
or we're gonna
Hayden?
take off early on Tuesday.
Am I working tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you have weird hours, right? What are your hours?
like 8 to 8,
All day.
and probably later when you count Fora.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, because you do all that shit. You guys are working so. But Ryan was telling me you guys have the funding and shit. Like, this is
Yeah,
pretty
we've gotten some money. We're still in progress, but yeah, it's coming along.
good. I'm so.
And we
proud
got
of you all.
we've got a partnership. We got a partnership with somebody that does streaming, so we'll be able to integrate live streaming like this into it.
Oh,
so.
you guys don't need me anymore. That is that what you're saying? Okay.
No, I'm saying
Okay.
you can
So
stream. I'm
Ryan
saying
said at first Ryan's like maybe we could use you, but I'm like whatever.
no, we will.
I'm-
We will.
I'm gonna
No, we
dissolve that pack. I'm gonna dissolve that pack. and get
Talk
rid
to
of-
well, that's MJ's territory, but yeah, no, I think we will.
yeah.
Because
I'm-
we need because here's the thing. We need this and we need the entire community to rally behind what we're doing if we're going to gain some traction and gain some network effects.
It's so hard to get
It's so
people-
hard to
Yeah.
get people to jump from one platform to another and because they're like, well, nobody's there. Why would I do that? So it's like you have
Well,
to
so what do you think
have to
about like Elon buying Twitter? Like, do you think that's gonna actually help, or is it just like no?
he's still look,
You don't
Elon
think it's
can
gonna happen?
Elon
Well,
can
that's what I was
bring
like, they don't have to say yes to him buying it, you know, like just because he put it in offer, that doesn't mean anything.
He has ways to do it. It's a 4D chess game. I can send if you're really interested in it. I can send you videos on like the game.
I mean,
that
I'm probably
Elon's
just like I
playing.
couldn't understand it, but I'm just like I know
has
there's
to do- it's-
reptilians, and I think Elon is one of the good reptilians, and that's just
He's
all
not
I
a
can really say.
reptilian.
I think he is a
Elon
No.
reptilian.
is a robot.
No.
A robot.
Mike, oh no! I hope Mike stopped watching once he jumped off. He doesn't like any negative talk about Elon.
No, I like Elon. Like
Yeah,
I fuck
he's
with Elon.
realistic.
I've made money on Tesla stock, so maybe I'm biased, but
I don't.
Yeah, me
trust-
too. Who hasn't?
I don't know. I like Elon. I don't like
Oh.
Bill Gates. I don't like Zuckerberg. You know, but I like Jack Dorsey. Like I don't think everyone is like out to get the world. I don't think everyone is like, you know.
Look,
I don't
I think just to answer your question, I think he'll do a lot of positive things for Twitter should he get in control of the company. He will make it more of a free speech platform. The problem is it's still beholden to all the Web 2 infrastructure and frankly like the corporate America infrastructure because he's going to have a whole board that doesn't like him and he's going to have to like replace them or like restructure it to get rid of them all. There's a lot, and he'll still all the pressures from the U.S. government. He already does the government already doesn't like him. Hence, Biden never mentioning him when he talks about EV cars. He's like Ford and GM are doing great things.
So who's that guy's podcast we were listening to?
Andy Frisella.
Okay, so there's like a group of billionaires that are very base, like Andy Frisella, Joe Rogan, Grant Cardone. Like they all seem to be very, let me talk for a second. They all seem to be very based and shit. And I was like, why don't they just buy out like the other billionaires? And I was talking to Noah about it. And he was like, Well, because at the end of the day, like in that situation, money isn't everything. Like there's still people backing like the Clintons and the Rothschilds and shit. Like it's just no matter how many base billionaires there are, they're not gonna have the level of power that like the other side does. But I'm just like, that would be so cool if like all the cool billionaires could come together and just like buy out all the shitty ones, you know?
I think they all have their own things going on because on top of that group that you mentioned, there's a bunch more. There's Mark Andreessen. There's
yeah,
Peter
those are just
Thiel.
the ones I know off the top of my head. And like,
yeah, there's a lot of like the old like Silicon Valley crowd that's like super big.
and like Jack Dorsey is pretty libertarian, you know, like all these guys like are libertarian. So I'm just like, why don't they just all come together and just like for the billions? I don't get it, but
look, Jack had a lot of issues at Twitter, and I don't know that he's like the most attentive like CEO because he didn't like for everything that he talks about like Bitcoin and like decentralization, like he wasn't successful.
Anatomy of the state thing. You know, like
I'm not saying that he doesn't have a lot of like base beliefs. I'm just saying in practice he wasn't able to. Like,
I think eventually it's like you either have to sell your soul to the devil or you sell your company to the people that sell their souls. And I think that's what Jack Dorsey had to do.
Part of that's true, but then you can see, but then there's like the level of Tesla, which has like, you know, obviously ties with the CCP and probably some other bad actors. But you have to if that's what if you want to do business in China. Guess what you're in the business of. You know
what? What are you laughing at, Emily?
Emily's dying.
Did you see this tweet?
Who posted it? Sappy?
Oh, I love Tappy. Sorry. Stuffy and Tappy are both equally based in my brain. I knew it was Stuffy. And I was like, I love Tappy. No, Tappy's great though. I'm a pro Tappy fan. Like she is everything.
That was a pretty sick tweet.
We don't all have to get along.
But I get along.
Yeah, she's just a lot. But that's why I love her. Exactly. No,
it's a lot.
Tappy, but like I love Tappy.
I actually like her a lot.
We started off not liking each other, and then she DM'd me and she was like, "Hey, I heard you were talking shit," and I was like, "What? No." And then it was basically just like we were besties after that. Like we're good friends. Like we're friends on Facebook. We have each other's phone number. Like we're gonna try to go to her wedding. Like I am good friends with Tappy, but I also understand that people don't like her, and that's okay. And like we don't have the type of friendship where she's gonna be like, "Oh, you can't be friends with this person because they don't like me." Like she's not like that at all. And I think people think she's like that, and she's not. She's pretty fucking cool, honestly. But that's all.
I don't have a problem with anybody, honestly. Like I don't have a problem with anybody.
Just asshole dudes who get mad about
one person I have a problem with, and
yeah,
we all know who he is. But and also the assholes who like come online and are like when we post sexy pictures and they're like, and it's like, well, fuck off, dude. Why are you fucking here? Like,
can I ask a serious question about that though?
Yes.
You only want positive comments?
No,
not necessarily. It just has to be not.
Don't be a dick.
I think it's just like
there's a
it comes
vibe.
back to the problem of like, well, men are allowed to be openly sexual and fuck all these bitches, but women can't. It's like that's what bothers me, you know.
We're not the same.
I also feel like people project a lot of their shit onto you when it's like, I don't feel like I'm doing anything like that.
I feel like I'm just existing in this body that I have in this spot.
This is the thing that bothers me. And there's like a group of men that like are cool with me and shit. And then all of a sudden, when they want to attack me for something, they attack my OnlyFans. And it's like, well, we've been friends and you knew I had the fucking OnlyFans and you knew what I did. And now all of a sudden you want to have an issue with it because you want to attack me for something. It's
that's
like
that's a fair point.
Issue with it and you should have told me, or you're just using this because you know people are gonna be like, oh, haha, she's an OnlyFans girl.
They like to look.
Like, yeah,
that's a fair point. Like they should criticize you on like what you're saying if that's the
right.
issue,
and
not like
the whole issue
have this ace up their sleeve.
Like, people
and be like, well, you do OnlyFans, so why would I listen to you? Like that's pretty stupid.
The thing. And I was like, so I can't have an opinion on someone grooming a child because I do OnlyFans?
Well, if you had been groomed and got married to a man and then divorced him 10 years later and took all his money, then it's okay.
Right. But because I do OnlyFans, which is morally not in people's compass, I can't have an opinion on grooming children, which is like not that, like my OnlyFans is 18 plus. It doesn't have fucking children on it. I'm not anything pro-child. Like, I don't have any of those weird baby fetishes. Like, what the fuck is the issue with my OnlyFans, and what does it have to do with grooming children?
Hey, Flying Squirrel. What up? Hey, Babylon.
So to answer your question, Hayden, yes, I do only want positive comments.
That's fair enough. As long as we're being honest, that's okay.
No, that's
all I deserve. Why do I deserve it? I'm not
deserving it.
That it, like, I bring my positive, kind, nice energy, money, like. Why do I deserve someone projecting their misogynistic, internalized hatred of women onto me? Like, why should I accept that?
Right. It's like, you could just block me, or if you seriously have an issue,
go away. Block me.
I am friends with like married men and shit, so I really don't make my Twitter that sexual. Like, I keep the PG-13 and the rated R.
People accuse me of being sexual just because I'm wearing a bathing suit. I'm like, is
right? And it's like,
that's not a me problem.
Married friends look at me in a bikini and they are suddenly like gonna roast, like, oh, why are you doing that? Like, that's on you, honey. Like, you have a wife. If you look at me in a bikini and get horny, that's on you. That's not my fault. Just scroll past it.
The messages I get from a lot of the like more conservative, more like prude,
right?
I get these messages and I'm like, no.
It's like, just block me if you're that offended by what I do.
Don't act like you're like Mr. Great.
Everyone thinks they're morally perfect.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks
because
they're morally
don't. It's funny that it's like I don't give a shit what anyone else is doing. Like,
you're so nice and you're nice to people. That's what I get mad about. Because I'm like, I'm not me. I don't go out and be mean.
And
to
that's
people.
like both of our things. Like, I think people like don't like me more than they don't like her. But like, people are just so mean to me, and I'm just like, why? Like, I'm not doing anything. Just because I tweet fucking funny, horny shit, it's like, okay, block me. Like, what did I do to deserve this hate? I really don't get it.
If you don't like me, just block me.
Yeah.
People aren't that mean to me, I'll be honest. But like, when someone says something to me, they're like, you're average. And I'm like, I'm fucked up about this for the rest of the day.
You know what that is? There's all these bunch of it's
so rude.
It's a bunch of guys that think that they're Kevin Samuels is what
and they
is.
just really want to fuck her and they can't.
Man, you are average at best.
I'll get like 200 comments of people that are like obsessed with me, and then one person is like, you're slightly below average, and I'm like, I'm fucked up now.
The comments that piss me off are the ones that are like, oh, you're so easy, you'll fuck anything. And it's like, well, I wouldn't fuck you. And you're just saying that to cope with the fact that I wouldn't fuck you or touch you with a 10-foot pole. Like, I don't fuck everything. I really don't. Like, I'm sorry if you think that.
I'm very flirty, but
and it's just like, just because we are sexually open doesn't mean we fuck everything. And I'm sorry that I didn't want to fuck you, but now you want to project like your hurt onto me. Like, fuck you.
People really show their insecurities.
Yeah, online. And I've been dealing with it. I used to get online and I was posting sexy photos in like 07. Okay, before you were fucking born, probably.
Literally, I was.
When
10.
were you born?
I was born in 2000. Oh, 02, yeah.
Anyway, so I've been dealing with it for a while, and you realize it. You do realize it's just like hater. They're just.
I don't know who this is, but this is. I feel like that's nice. Like, that's like a nice way to behave online.
Right. It's just like, if you can't go online and see a picture of a girl in a bikini and like you're gonna lose your shit because you're insecure or your girlfriend's gonna get mad, like you just block or you don't like it. And like my friends that are married that I'm actually friends with in real life, like they don't like my bikini pictures, but they like know what I do, and it's just like not an issue, you know? It's like
you can have your own personal boundaries where you're like, I'm gonna scroll past this, or I'm gonna
all these motherfuckers still follow me. They still follow me no matter what. And I posted there was actual nipple this week, and they still fucking follow me. So
yeah.
I think what Emily just said was big. Like it really does come down to the old trope of like, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything at all, just move on. And a lot of people are fucked up, and they have to project their shit onto you. The only thing that I'm saying, and the only place that I'm coming from in all this, is that it's the internet, and like you're being public about it. So like
You
Yeah,
can't
you know.
expect
Well,
perfection.
No, for
Okay,
sure.
but I have a pretty big like Instagram following, and I've never experienced like the level of toxicity that I experience on Twitter, and it's kind of funny to me.
That's a difference between
like-
Instagram and Twitter.
You know what I think it is? It's like it's the people that are in your community sending you hate that gets to you the most. Because it's like when it's the libertarians sending me hate and the anarchists, it's like, dude, fuck you. Like, aren't we libertarians and anarchists for a reason? You know, it's like those are the ones that get to me. It's like if
This-
this fucking person who's not in my
Like
community,
this may make me sound crazy, but I have like this theory that Twitter auto generates these like bot accounts that like specifically say things to you that are like they know is gonna like bother you. Maybe I'm crazy for like thinking
No,
that, but
you're
like
not crazy at
I
all.
really
Yeah.
do believe that like I don't know if these are like real people or not.
No, you know what's
and
funny?
real humans do that too, where they know it's
Exactly.
gonna bug you.
And they know it'll bug you. And it's funny because I was on this like troll for a few days because we were staying at Trump Tower. So I was pretending to be like a MAGA fan and I was posting pics in the hat. It was just a troll, whatever. But I had people replying that like do not follow me, are not in the libertarian Twitter, and they were like replying like bot things like, haha, you think Trump is gonna win? I'm like, that is just a Russian bot because like if you know me, you know I'm obviously not a Trump supporter and you know that I was trolling, but they have things generated to you that you're gonna see in your mentions. I totally believe that 100%. There's just a bunch of fake accounts out there trying to fuck with you.
Mr. Squirrel, if you want to come on, you can come on, by the way. Yeah, there are people.
If you
Those are
They
weird
hate follow.
anyways.
I mute most people that hate follow me, and I just like because it's like if you really hate me, you're gonna make another account to follow me. So it's like I just mute. I don't really block, but it's like fuck you, go away.
if you listen to Elon Musk on Joe Rogan like back in like 2016 or 2015, and he's like talking about AI and he's like talking about how it's kind of like an inevitable advancement and it's what we put into it that is going to create what it is. And so it continues
Cyborg.
ever evolving thing where it's like it's learning how quick we respond to things. It's learning what creates like the most response or what keeps you engaged for the most
Yeah,
amount.
there was like
And
a whole Netflix documentary about that. Yeah,
it knows us so well beyond just like, oh, it can see our pictures or it knows like what we're doing publicly. Like it understands us at like such a fundamental level now at this point. It just keeps advancing faster and
and
faster.
they know what like they can show us to trigger us.
That's
too.
why I got out there.
Yeah,
Well, here's the problem with all that is that the code is private and you can't see what's going on there. So if we make everything decentralized and open source, then everybody knows exactly what we're being exposed to. You wouldn't have to wonder if Twitter was intentionally sending you hate bots. Like you would know for
You
sure,
know.
or you could be like you could ask your friend that
And
like
Hayden knows he gets the Forest Mommy flirt bot because I flirt with
Right.
Hayden
sometimes.
all the time. I try to flirt with you all
oh
the
my
time.
god, I flirt with Tack like all the time. I love Tack. I'm like,
we'll probably
oh,
on it
yeah,
tonight.
we
if you
need-
want
I'm
to.
just like I love Tack. Like
I know, he's so
Tack
fun.
gets my flirt.
I
back.
like flirting. It's fun.
Yeah,
I'm
like
a big flirt.
that's why it's like it's so fun. Like
but I think the
that's-
people that know us are like,
half the people who like okay, so the whole open relationship, whatever you feel about that, but
Yeah.
like half of it is just so you can just flirt with people because it doesn't mean anything. You're just that's how you communicate with people sometimes,
Right.
and it's fun.
It's fun to be flirty and to like make someone feel good about themselves or like
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to do that? I don't
and like,
get
do you remember that guy that we met in Arizona who was like Mormon? Like, I don't want to say his name.
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, he was on my thing.
Yeah,
right?
he'll always like reply to our tweets like in a fun, flirty way, but like you know that he has like 7 kids and a wife back at home. And
that.
it's a thing, you know, it's
And we
not
met him
all
in
like
person, and it was
Yeah.
yeah, and we
Yeah,
were
like-
talking about his
She told me
Mormonism
about it.
and
Well, we
yeah,
sat in the room and there was OnlyFans girl,
right,
real
you,
estate agent, electrician, Liam with
Yeah.
hers like he does.
yeah.
There's all these different people, and we were
And,
all
like-
just having such
And
a
he
good
was just like
Yeah.
talking about like
Mormon.
his family and like you know he was very
cool
respectful, talking about like your God is not better than my God. Like he was just so cool.
His-
But like he'll sit there and like know how we are, and he'll like send a flirty tweet Like just knowing that
And
it's a
it
joke.
doesn't- We're not
And
like
we
trying to leave
know
our
that
husbands
he
or
has
anything.
exactly.
Flirting is
We know that
fun.
he has like 6 kids and a
But
wife.
some people get
And
so like tripped
yeah,
out.
it's
I
like not a
know.
big deal. Like
I
I
don't-
don't see it as a big deal when he knows that that's our sense of humor.
Right.
It's just like
Yeah.
so annoying. But he's great.
That's the whole thing with like swinging and all that. I always just love being like half of it was just
I
flirting.
know,
And
and
Look,
it
people
was
are
It's the
just
chase.
so
It's the chase.
yeah.
It's the chase.
that like
Yeah.
energy. You're so
He
mature.
is. I know. He's
You
very.
too,
He
but-
is. Yeah. I mean, I really hate the comment. He's mature for his age because it just sounds gross.
sounds
this day and
bad.
age, it sounds,
sounds
bad
bad.
These days though,
with
for
all
your
the grooming and shit that
generation.
goes on now. But like, I didn't. The only way I groomed him was cleaning up his fucking beard.
Okay.
And literally
chill,
sending him to a barber
chill.
and saying, "Get
You
your beard."
didn't send me to my barber.
That's
went
the only
there my
way he's
own
been
self.
groomed. Is I literally groomed his
No,
fucking
you didn't
beard.
groom him. Because
No.
you
No,
kinda had that
She
look
literally
on
did. No, she
Twitter.
literally did. I have a picture of
No,
her
like,
No,
with
that
the
like
razor.
physically, I've groomed him. Mentally, not at all. But like, I just hate
I was
that
an
saying,
adult.
like, you're
I was
mature for your
19.
age.
He was an adult when you met him.
Yeah, he was
It's not
an
like-
adult,
Yeah, it's not like. Yeah,
and it's not like I'm super mature for my
And
age.
you're not that much older than him.
No, I know.
Sure.
I just hate like
Bro,
that
I mean,
saying
we were
these
both
days. But
consenting adults.
he's an adult, and I'm not like that mature for my age. Like I haven't been. I've been
Yeah,
living
it's
with my
not-
mom.
We're
You
fine,
know,
because we had kind of
like
when she
I'm
was
not
18,
like
I
a
was
total
14.
adult and shit.
We had a
So
conversation, it's like, yeah, maybe we would have.
it's
I mean,
not
a lot
like
of people do. I moved out. I mean, I moved out of my parents' house like when I was 21, out from
Yeah.
Jersey out to here,
I mean,
and
I'm not-
I don't know. Y'all's story reminds me. I had I started dating this girl that I met couple months after I moved out here, and she told me she was 19 when we met, and I found out months and months later that she was actually 18 and still in high school.
Yeah, well, that's tricky too because you can be 18 and be in high school, and it's like, you know.
Yeah, and
that's-
she had a schedule like I did senior year, which is like she only went in for half the day. So it was really like the excuse
Wait,
of like,
how
oh yeah,
old
I have
were you?
my community college classes, in the
was
morning was
21.
really, yeah, it was just funny. I was like, really?
right.
I needed.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
And like
just
we've
needed to
met
know.
like my neighbors next door. She's my godmother. She met her husband in high school and they got married when she was 17 and he was 19 and they're still together 60 years later. And like he met them and it's just like, you really want to tell me it's not going to work out because we're young? It's like maybe it won't, but like also people who are fucking older and shit, they don't work out either.
Just to
So
talk
like
on that,
fuck you.
My
I think
grandparents.
I think the times make a difference, and social media
Yeah.
and the internet and how we all relate with one another makes a big
Yeah.
difference.
Yeah.
But I can't. That I don't have a crystal ball. All I can do is follow
It's like
patterns
if
and
he
try to
was
predict the
24
future
and I
based on
was
that.
20, it wouldn't be weird. But because he's the younger one, it's a little bit like, oh, he's too young for you. But
I mean,
it's
like,
like,
You do-
I've always liked older girls, though.
and
But
I
y'all-
didn't like younger.
But I think y'all say this because you understand that like most couples are a younger woman and an older man. I think most marriages, the average is like 3 or 4 years difference.
yeah, we're
Even-
only 4 years
Even with old
apart.
people,
It's not that
after
weird.
after their original marriage dies, like one of the partner dies, they're still like old people will marry. It'll be an older dude. and
Yeah.
a younger
Yeah.
woman.
My stepdad is 15 years older than my mom, something like
Yeah.
that. He's
I'm
quite a
at
bit older than her.
I mean, because I'm so much older than him, when I die first, I hope that he gets married again. And it's not-
I'm like 4 years older than
It's
us.
like
You go,
4
buddy.
years,
It's
bro.
nothing.
I know,
No,
no,
it's not
we'll just
that.
happy long life. I mean, it's just like people, I don't know. When you know, and the other people who have had the feeling and they knew when they knew, they tell us we're gonna last
Well,
forever.
that's what I was going to
It's
say.
only the people who have been divorced that tell us we're not gonna last.
You're the people who suck at it.
My
Exactly.
grandparents-
It's like we just
yeah.
know.
My grandparents have been married for 50 years.
Yeah.
And my grandpa
Marianne.
said he knew by the first
Instantly.
date that he was going to marry my grandma.
My uncle Mike,
My
they've
parents-
been together
my parents
33
too.
years.
My
Yeah.
parents
He
are
said
so
from
It's
the
just like
first
the people
date.
who have had that feeling, they
From the
tell us
first
they're like,
date.
"Oh, we know you're going to be together forever."
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
those-
it's not the fact that it doesn't happen. It's just more of like a probabilities standpoint. But that's why I would never tell you to your face, like in a serious way, like, oh, why would you do that? That's not going to work. I could say like, hey, maybe the probabilities aren't in your favor, but I would never presume that, make a, literally predict the future.
Right. It's just like, and also when you have like a sort of public figure, it's like people just always want to give their 2 cents on shit. And it's like,
Of course.
okay, well, are you single living in your mom's basement? Are you divorced 2 times? It's like, why are you going to give an opinion on my relationship with my husband? I don't know. I feel like we have a very healthy and good relationship. And even if we were to divorce, we're going to have kids together. We're going to still be best friends forever. It's not like something that I don't know why people are so concerned about it. I don't know if they're just trying to be hateful or what, but like we're happy and we plan to be together forever.
You know why they're concerned? It's because they're bored and they don't have anything to do.
Can I Liberty thought, haha, that's not gonna last. She's a thought. And it's like, well, okay. So,
when I was following your story, can I just give the anecdote of what went into my mind? Yeah, so my mom's youngest sister, she's very much like the free spirit hippie type of the family. She stayed in school forever. She was a marine biologist. She worked with like Robert Ballard, the guy that discovered the Titanic, right?
Wow.
And she's like they're all very, very, very smart and capable, my aunts, but she met this guy and they dated for a month, and after a month it was Halloween and they invited everybody over for a Halloween party, but what they didn't tell everyone is that it was a surprise wedding.
Wow.
Yeah. So they had a Halloween party / surprise wedding. That's them for you. So they were together. I mean, and it didn't work out. And they had 2 kids. But I don't think they have a bad relationship or anything. Yeah. But I just remember that was the example in my mind of a quick meeting to marriage
and that's
type
okay.
of situation.
And I understand. And like we also have obviously talked about before, like if we don't work out, we're not going to get the courts involved. We're not going to do the child support. We're not going to do the alimony thing.
It's going to be
we will always
mutually
be
agreed.
Best friends. That if we for some reason decide that we don't want to be married anymore, we can figure it out. And we knew that going into it because we are both very young. Maybe in 10 years, we're completely different people and it's nothing personal and we just want to get a divorce. But it's like for people to knock our current happiness, like, fuck you.
Yeah.
And
no, that's not. I don't think that's right.
And Forrest mommy has been with her man for 12 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm not even married. I'm not entitled to any of his shit unless he dies. So
yeah.
Wait, common law though.
Common law.
You guys live together.
I could, but I wouldn't fucking go after that. We are technically common law, but I wouldn't.
Yeah. It's just like, so people just love to give their opinions on shit when you have a social media presence.
And I feel like the most like when you're a little bit non-traditional and you're more honest.
You get it even worse.
Like,
oh yeah, it's like, oh, they like to have threesomes. Like, okay, and are we having a threesome with you? No, then who gives a shit?
It goes back. You have
to have a thick skin if you're going to have a large following on any social media platform, but Twitter especially. It's like you have to just have like a thick skin.
You can't even. I've learned you cannot even talk about anything.
Oh yeah,
non-monogamy anymore because
you can't.
It's been ruined over the years anyway.
And it's like people now think that we're poly, and we're not poly. Like anytime he wants to talk to or whatever, like hook up with a girl, like I hear everything about it, and I'm like, sure, I like her.
It's different
like,
from poly.
It's very different than poly.
I call them the purple poly. And they like want to be people to accept them. I'm like, no,
people don't poly. We're not poly at all. We just get turned on by weird shit, and like that's it.
Emily, what's the estate of Emily? I'm putting you in the comment.
Flying squirrel. I have no idea who cares what consenting adults do. Thank you. Amen.
It's that fucking easy.
Adults. We're perfectly happy.
Well, the people who get mad about it are like the 28-year-olds who go after a 15-year-old.
Right.
But they get mad when people are.
Yeah, it's like, oh, God forbid we want to have a threesome.
It's estate of Emily, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
1MA, that's her Twitter. I'm putting it in the comments.
Y'all are at and this is what I was thinking earlier about like people having to like push, traditional values on you, whatever you want to call it. Libertarians are at a weird just liberty people, I guess in general, are at a weird intersection of conservative ideals and like very like free-spirited, like liberal, like non-traditional ideals. So you get that. So you get this group that is like, they have all the same political beliefs, but they're, they have like all these like
Yeah,
They're very
more-
like
yeah.
they're very like worried about degeneracy and like they think
Right,
like the
and it's
world
like,
is like
I
evolving.
get it because I've been around people. I understand how degeneracy can lead to more degeneracy. We've all
Right.
seen the people who own the fucking world are fucking the worst.
Right.
But
But
then
it's
I also say the people who get so upset about it is because they know they can't control. It's their own thing.
Yeah, they can't
know they
control their
can't dip
degeneracy.
their toes in
We're
it.
both degenerates together, and that's why we
Yeah.
can work. It's because it's just like this is who we are. It's a fun thing that we do.
Yeah.
And like
married.
I know we're
I
literally
love that they're married.
I
Yeah.
know. It was just like it, and it felt like nothing really changed either. It's like
yeah, it's
And
just
it's
like
sad
once we
because
met, we were married. Now
I
it's
get
just
mad
the legal
because
shit.
I accept the conservative traditional. I'm like, if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. But
Right.
they don't.
And then for
I
them
don't
to
get
be
that
like,
reciprocal.
oh, you guys are never gonna work. It's
They're
like,
we have
okay,
to
well,
are helping
it's
in
been what 10
communities.
years that you and your wife has been married, and now you want to cheat on her. So how are you gonna say that what we're
Right.
doing is any worse than what
They're
you're
I'm
saying
doing?
like,
It's
I saw
not.
the
If
messages
anything-
you just send me. and-
Exactly.
yeah.
It's
If
so
anything,
frustrating.
it's better.
It's healthier because
Well,
we're
And
honest
if your
with
better.
each
culture,
other.
Because
if your
we're
culture
honest
is
and we
good,
communicate.
if your culture is good, you don't have to force it on people.
And we're both into
You
it,
lead
and
on
we're not
example.
forcing it on each other. We're
No.
both into it.
No, Martha, mom.
Oh,
Good
God.
Lord, mother. Her mom's in the comment asking about. No,
Bruh.
I'm a mother. I'm a mother.
What does it say?
She said, "Is that the plan for tonight?"
Oh God,
I think 'cause
my
of,
mom
like-
is so embarrassed. I want to get my mom off Twitter.
Oh, she's so sweet. Though.
Yes.
I love it. She was
So
cleaning
amazing.
your room. Why is she cleaning your room? Did you clean it before you left?
I honestly, I'll be honest, we didn't like. We got what we needed out, and we left. We had to go.
Oh, do
we
you
had
wanna
to.
Time to
What situation?
What's the
The
situation?
car.
The car.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay, we're gonna switch gears for a minute.
okay. So my car got stolen on our wedding night. At first, it was the end of the world. But I have really, really good insurance. Okay, shout out to Geico. I love fucking Geico. Everyone get Geico.
That goes the best.
By Monday, they had called me. They got my story. I filed a police report. I don't normally like police. I'm not a fan of cops. And when I was talking to the cops that Saturday night, I recorded everything. Okay, always record your interaction with the cops. It doesn't
No matter
matter what. I recorded everything.
Even if you're giving
So
a witness statement.
exactly, even if it was just a witness statement, I was still recording my interaction with the cops because I don't fucking trust the cops. But in this situation, you need a police report. Unfortunately, okay. So I had to call the cops. They had a report Monday. Insurance called me. They were like, "Yeah, your car got stolen. We basically believe you. Like your story's legitimate. You have a police report, whatever." They gave me a rental car. 2 hours later, we picked it up. We fucking packed all my shit and we started driving to Bakersfield. We had to cancel some of our original honeymoon plans, and that's okay. Because honestly, not the high school. We still went to Salt Lake City. It just, everything happened how it was supposed to happen. There was just some things that were just too expensive this time around to do that we had planned, that instead we had to do things that were cheaper, and that's okay. It worked out for the better. On the way here, driving here yesterday, my car skid. Okay, it was my first time driving in snow and sleet. Okay, about 20 minutes after we get out of the snow, I was driving like 75, because the freeway looked clear. It looked empty. There was no snow, there was no water or anything. And then all of a sudden, my car started skirting. What is it called? Skirting, right?
It just started turning.
sliding, losing grip. I race cars. So
got
this
me.
is my area of
I'm complaining.
expertise.
In that moment, I don't know. I've never hydroplaned. I've never driven in shitty weather. But in that moment, I just knew what to do. And I just took control of the wheel, and we were fine, and we survived.
Well, the worst part is it wasn't even shitty weather.
It wasn't
It was
shitty
a
weather.
patch of
It was
fucking
a
dirt.
patch of dirt and snow. And all of a sudden, it was just, and I knew what to do. We were both extremely calm. I didn't freak out, and I just had control of the car.
Did you see my comment earlier?
But I'll be honest, if it was my Honda, I don't think we would have survived. I don't think my Honda would have been able to control that situation.
Did you see my comment earlier, Sarah?
No, I didn't.
I said you have good instincts if you've
I
never
had
driven.
In the moment, I was like, I'm either gonna freak out and we're gonna die and swerve into oncoming traffic, or I'm just gonna take control of the car.
Because you know what you did? I can tell you what you did already.
What?
What you did was you stayed in, was when the car loses grip, you stay in the throttle. What people do is they lift off the throttle, they hit the brake, and that actually makes it worse.
Yeah, and you know what? I didn't hit the brake
Probably.
fast. I braked very, very slowly.
That's
which is
good. You can
apparently
get
what
away.
you're-
You can
and
do
I
that.
never knew, like, I've never been taught how to drive through snow. But just something in my instincts was like, I need to brake slow and I need to not oversteer either. Like,
Yeah,
I
be
just
gentle,
knew what
yeah.
to do. And I think, honestly, in my Honda, I don't think we would have been out of that as okay as we were.
Gone.
So I think everything that happened, my car getting stolen, we're getting insurance money, like having a rental, like I think everything was supposed to happen for a reason. So I'm okay with it. Especially after yesterday, just like literally we were skirting for like 10 seconds and like we just got out of it and Noah was like, "Are you okay? Do you want to pull over?" And I was like, "No, I just want to keep going," because it's like it happened and it was shitty, but I made it out. That's what happens when you drive in snow. And you know, we just kept going. And I was like, I don't really want to pull over. I just want to get there and I just want to stop. And you know, I don't know. I'm a good driver for a woman. That's all I have to say.
Can we change the subject for a second?
Yes.
Okay. I have a serious question.
Sure.
So, you know how people talk about there being like feds, like in the Liberty Twitter community, like who's like a fed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of person would like infiltrate a community and like pretend to be like, how could you live with yourself like pretending to be something that you're not? Like how, like would you have to like passionately believe that like the government is like good to be like working for them that way? Like is that really like the motivation behind it?
You got to be suggestible. You got to be able to not.
Or
to
are they
only.
paying you? Is it money?
And you're probably making
Yeah.
a lot of money. And you probably didn't have much going for you before. And I'll be honest, there was drama that me and this girl was in before. And we're good now. Like, we're friends. We still talk. We text. We're on Instagram, whatever. I genuinely believe that somebody was trying to cause that drama and had sent her the gossip that I was saying about her and had made it a big thing because they were trying to infiltrate on our little community and our clique. I 100% believe it was someone, I'm not saying a fed, but it was someone who wanted to destroy people that had the same values and bring them apart over drama and gossip. You know what I mean? Like, I genuinely think there are people out there that just, they're either very bored online and they want to do that, or they're fucking feds.
Hey, Emily,
So
can I ask,
you think that they think that they are righteous in what they're doing, that like they are working for like the good guys and like they're doing like a service to the world by like
I don't think they think about it. I don't think they think about it. I think there's
No.
a lot. Don't you have customer service? Because I just had one of these yesterday. Don't you have customer service experiences where you need somebody to look at the overall picture and like think about the consequences of their actions and look more holistically, but they're just hyper focused on what they were told to do, and you can't like get that. You can't shake them off of that, no matter what you
I
do.
don't understand that because I don't live my life like that. So I don't understand.
I think,
But I think those people. I think you have to deal with those people sometimes, like TSA agents, like sir,
But how
I'm
can
gonna
you live
need
with yourself, like from a soul perspective, like how can you live with yourself knowing that you are dishonest, that you present this false persona to the world, that you manipulate others, that you like how can you live with yourself? Like how on a consciousness level, how can you live with yourself?
They don't.
I think they
possess
think
the
they're helping the
introspection.
world.
Really?
I think a majority of them think that like we are out to like bomb the White House and shit. And like honestly, at the end of the day, all of us want to do is be left the fuck alone.
But
We're
how
not
can you be that good? How many people are that good at lying? How many people are that good at like manipulating people to the point where like people believe them? Like how many people are like really capable of that? Like
I don't know.
why? What is the purpose of like causing problems for like
Because they want us to focus on hating each other and not hating the government, and so they're like causing this drama in between the community to start shit. And I really think like experiencing it, I really think a lot of it is like planned and shit. Like I really do, just to like bring us apart from each other. Because that's all they can do is tear us apart. It's like, okay, well, we don't see the divide between Republicans and Democrats. We see that that's all a shit show. So what can we do? We can divide the libertarians.
Tear us apart.
But
You guys will never tear us apart. But yeah, that's it. And I think they really think they're helping, and they're probably part of the, you know, like,
Talking about the conservatives. So.
no, we're talking about like who would actually be a Fed, like who is.
We're talking about why someone would like misrepresent themselves and why someone would infiltrate a community and
And
cause.
like they pop up all the time trying to like make shit. They always just pop up trying to like start shit, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Realistically, how many crimes are actually being committed that we hear about on the news that are not perpetrated by feds? 1-6 was a Fed. You hear about some militia freedom group gets infiltrated by the feds and busted. Usually they were coerced to do a crime by a Fed.
Even the high school shooting.
Yes.
The feds have like usually talked to that person.
The kid
Parkland.
that took Parkland. He was on the watch list, but the kid the school shooting that was like 2 months ago. He
the
brought
black guy?
No. That one was a whole shitty situation.
Yeah, do you guys remember that black
It was in Texas,
and then
right?
they let him go.
They let him go on $70,000 bond. I think it was
Everything's so
$70,000.
fucked up.
But it's
I didn't
like,
even see it.
Oh, what?
What, Emily?
like, do people have like do you have like a conscience or like a?
Do
I
you?
think
Are
a
you?
lot of people don't. I think a lot of people. I was watching this documentary. I posted about it, but there's this documentary about this girl in New York who had a vegan restaurant, and she got like involved with this dude and got conned out of all this money. And but the way she was talking in the documentary, she just seemed empty. You know, you ever meet people who just seemed like they just seem empty? You know, like they just don't have. They don't have a conscience, or they don't have like. I think I think the NPC thing is real. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's
This is
just-
what you're making the argument that I've been making about this, which is that they don't possess that level of introspection to think about what they're doing in order to arrive at the point that they think that they're fighting for a good cause. Because you're like, do these people really believe that they think that they're doing well? And I don't think they ever get there. Have you heard of the adage of Hanlon's razor?
What's that
It says never attribute to malice that which can be adequately explained by incompetence.
I have heard that.
So
yeah.
your first reaction should be like they don't know what they're doing.
This person just doesn't possess the brain power to look at a bigger picture and ask about what they're doing in order to arrive at is this a noble or a malicious cause?
But I think that like we're talking about something where you're creating like in-depth interpersonal relationships with people, and you have to have some sort of understanding of what you're doing. Like you have to be on board with the fact that you're lying to people, that you're manipulating people, that you are misrepresenting yourself, and that's not something that you're not aware of. It's like there has to be a reason behind that you're giving to yourself, where you're like, I'm doing this for money, and maybe that's your explanation. I'm doing this for money, and that's why I'm going to do it. Or I'm doing this because I really believe in it. Like I'm saving the world in some capacity. Like there has to be like,
or they just don't even think. They just don't even think. Like
it would be nice to think that to think that they're like actually philosophically motivated, but I think it's more sad and depressing than that. I think it's just a bunch of drones.
But how can you misrepresent yourself to people? I just don't understand that. Like I don't understand how you can like
not think,
manipulate people and like not feel guilty.
I mean, maybe a lot of them are like,
well, that's like the sociopath
politics too.
It is sociopathic. If you don't have a conscience, if you don't have remorse or regret, then like you are a sociopath.
Well, okay, so Emily, you're fairly like anarchist, right? So you're like, okay, so do you think that a majority, say there's like reptilians, and they have these people planted in, as feds on Liberty Twitter? Do you think that they would come more from the Republican or the Democrat side, or do you not see it like that?
I don't see it like that.
You don't see it like that? Okay, because I see it as more like it's the left wing trying to like plant people.
Maybe in the
organization.
You
know what I'm saying? Like
I feel organization.
In that sense, I agree, because if you look at the side of like, I don't want to say party that has power, because at the end of the day, all politicians have somewhat power.
But the left.
But you look at the side, the left has more control, so I could see more left.
So I feel like they're more left-wing feds
in the
planted.
LP for sure.
LP for sure.
Right.
But I think in general, like the militia groups that are out there, it feels like.
Yeah, it feels like a lot of them are more from like the left wing perspective, and that's why like as much as I want to drop my like political shit, it's like I feel like it's like it has to come from the left wing.
Because the right doesn't do shit anyways, because the left has completely taken over.
Someone make
Well, the right is literally just the left, but like 10 years behind them.
And they're like, we need to do like, especially with the school stuff right now. And I'm like, you guys fucking let it happen. What are you gonna do now? Like, what are you gonna do now?
Yeah, you tried to create this public education system in your own image. It just you didn't have the political power to really sustain it, and it's kind of a thing that gets inherently filled with left-leaning people.
Yeah. That's why it's just like so hard for me to step away from like, I want to be a full anarchist, but I do still feel like there's a lot of good people in politics that just like aren't involved in the reptilian shit and they're just trying to help. But like we have just been like, the New World Order is more like a left-wing thing. And that's just me,
But this is good because you're still at Ayn Rand and we're going to get you to Rothbard. So it's all good.
This is fair. I just don't like old white men. So
have you ever read Atlas Shrugged?
Come on, he's Jewish. They're not. Never mind.
Have you guys read Atlas Shrugged? It's really good.
I need to read it. Actually,
I'm like.
No.
I honestly haven't yet, but when you like got all into it, I was like, no, read the Fountainhead first.
I like Fountainhead so far, but I'm not gonna lie, I think Atlas Shrugged was better because there's parts of Fountainhead that like I'm just like, okay, I really.
Did you get through it? Are you done with the Fountainhead? Did you get through it all? Did you get through
I'm
it
like
all?
halfway through.
Okay, there's a big. My theory on the Fountainhead is that there's a monologue that Rourke gives at the end that was the creative crux of the entire book. I think Rand wrote that as like somebody who's standing up for his own like individual freedom and his own actions. And then she was like, okay, what's a story around this that can set this up? That was just my theory though, because like that monologue is like so epic. Like that's the bit.
The end of the book because everyone's like, oh, Fountainhead's better. And I'm like, honestly, so far, Atlas Shrugged has held my interest every single page.
It's hard.
Fountainhead, I'll be reading it and I'm just like, okay, this part's really boring. Like I want to get to the next part.
It's a lot of people sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. It's a lot of people that are sitting around talking. It's a lot of dialogue. It's just like Ellsworth said
not into architecture, and I feel like something about the trains was just way more interesting to me, and just like Dagny Taggart being like such a bad bitch and like doing the train thing, I feel like plot wise that just held my interest more. Something about the architecture, I'm just like meh. But it's a good book. Don't get me wrong. Fountainhead's like an architecture thing. Atlas Shrugged is like a bunch of it's transportation and like
I need to read it at some point.
It's really good. They're both really, really good. Like
when I was on Facebook, it made me not like Ayn Rand because that's what Facebook does. It makes you like it just feeds you shit, But I like her. I'm sure she's fine. She's like nice.
She was a very interesting old Russian lady.
It was like, okay, she wasn't a total individual because she had rich parents that brought her over or got her over here, and then she had a husband and whatever. But people can still have good opinion, right? That are like dependent, right?
Yeah, of course. She was just not on she wasn't to the full anarchy, like the state is literally evil, like it needs to not exist, like we need to abolish like any form of the
you have
state.
To take responsibility for yourself.
No, I think she was big on that. She just like wasn't big into the political party. Like that's the vibe that I get based on reading her books. I'm not like I just know she wasn't a libertarian because I've heard that, but I think I really think Ayn Rand's the best, and I love Ayn Rand.
Well, I've been on here for I think almost an hour, so I'm gonna hop off. But thank you for inviting me.
We shall hop off.
I know, maybe we should.
Our pizza just came too. So
okay,
great. Sick.
All right. Thanks everyone for hopping on.
Are we leaving?
Yeah. Sorry. We're out. I'm at 4 hours now. I need to go eat.
All right. I love you guys.
I love you.
Nice to talk to everyone.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye, Hex.
Peace.
Bye, baby.
Bye.